it's time to say goodbye. That's not the right one.
Wrong one.
What a way to start.
There you go, Will.
Good night, everybody.
Welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. Grab a cold one, maybe up here.
Oh, that's horrible.
An alert in the chat. Giveaway prizes. Maybe we'll give away Uncle Bill's cowboy hat.
That audio is way overmodulated.
Jim's his sidekick, wouldn't you know? Uncle Extra Medium in the show.
Okay, all right.
Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's all be part of
How about now?
Uncle Bill's Tribe. Hashtag Uncle Bill's Tribe.
That better?
Better.
Yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, friends, and neighbors, and all the all the shits you see. Welcome to Uncle Bill's Saturday Night Hangar Talk. Hey, yeah, sorry about that audio. I had that knob turned. Remember, I was having trouble and you guys couldn't hear my board.
Yeah.
Well, I left everything turned way up, unfortunately. So, at the end, did that sound right?
It sounded better, yeah.
Huh?
Sounded
Yes.
better, yeah.
Did it sound right?
I don't know what right is a
Well, I don't know. You've been here 100 times, right?
is an entirely subjective term, right?
It did not
It sounded
sound
good enough.
It was much improved. It sounded
about this?
just fine. It sounded fine.
Is that too loud?
Glad you're here. Grab a cold
No,
one.
that's good. I like it.
That's good right there. Yeah.
All right, good. All right. So, and everything else should sound right then, like this. A classic.
Yep.
Right isn't the word I'd use.
All right. Or
I can hear it.
perhaps this one.
That's the icing on the face.
Yeah, it should probably sound right. Okay. Wonderful. Well, anyway, guys, welcome in. I see we're off to a slow start. We got 6 in the chat. Hi, Steve. Hi,
Chat.
Brian. Hi, Dusty.
Yeah.
That's all I see.
Hello.
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 Oh, we got
Oh, and Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Okay. He's on mobile. Nobody cares. Anyway, are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? What you up to? Should invite Josh in. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a very nice guy. Yeah.
Want to put the link in the chat? What do you think?
Yeah, there you go.
Who joins us today?
Anybody wants to join? Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not? Let's
Well, it'd be mo-
paste. Bam.
mobile. It's going to be
As
mobile.
long as we don't get helicopter man. Ugh.
Well, you know, and of course, there's somebody in Art's channel. Yeah, of
Well,
course. You know.
Yeah, isn't it always?
Oh, that would be Mr. Ed. Ooh.
Ed.
He's going
It's Winnipeg.
Wilbur.
Wilbur.
Wilbur. Wilbur.
But anyway, notice Uncle Bill's newest toy.
Yeah.
I see that.
I got 2 new toys. I'm
Oh,
enjoying.
you got
One-
yourself an old man? That's cool.
What's that?
You got yourself an old man? That's cool.
Yeah, I did. Here he is. I
not
just keep
bad,
him in the yard. He
no
cleans my
bad.
stuff. He's wiping the bike off. See, that's
Cool.
That's his.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got time to fly. That would be
Al.
Al. Okay.
Al Gaz.
Hi, Al.
Al Diaz. Al Diaz.
It's 2 words. Al Diaz.
Al Diaz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Audi is.
Al Diaz. Yeah.
Aldi
Aldi
is
is.
Just
Yeah.
take somebody's name and disrespect them like that.
Yeah.
I'm just flabbergasted.
Well,
But anyway, that's.
Al Diaz.
You guys ever own a scooter? Anybody?
I have.
I'm not coordinated enough.
I know you
Yeah.
have not, Alon, right? We talked about that the other day. didn't
Oh,
we?
yeah. Yeah. Well, you asked.
ridden a mobility scooter.
Oh, do you?
Little rascal.
I reckon we'll get that
If
up.
you put it up against the curb, can you burn it out? We got I could do that with this. We got Jody or Joel or Jody. No, that's Jody. Hi, Jody.
Jody.
Got
Yeah,
a C in
yeah.
front of his name.
Don't soft front.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
New Joan 4K. Hola.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
New
Anyway,
Joan.
it's starting to roll in a little bit. We're up to 13. So anyway, so that's on Uncle Bill's
Eddie Ed.
channel. although it's been primarily drones for the last several years, it was originally intended as a channel where I would have old man toys, like the boat or the Harley or the drone or whatever tickling my.
Or
What is
Paul
so
Murray.
funny?
Hmm?
What am I saying?
Nothing.
What's so funny about me? So now I'll be
Yeah,
spending
man.
time
Clown.
I'm going to go through this thing from that end to that end and
Okay.
change the oil, flush the antifreeze because it is water cooled, by the way. Probably flush the brakes, put a new drive belt on it, perhaps change the rollers out. We'll see. Those rollers have to do with the transmission, by the way. It's called a variator. It's like a gladiator, only variable. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be playing with.
Are
that.
we
Looking
talking
forward
about
to
the Harley now?
it. Huh?
No, we're talking about that red scooter sitting behind him, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, I've pointed at it several times. I've brought it up.
Keep up with the conversation, Mark.
I'm sorry. Did we wake you up?
I would be very surprised if that had a radiator and had a cooling system.
Yeah,
Well, be surprised because it does.
it does.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
Or a belt drive.
Well, they all have belt drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he holds his pants up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on my belt and drive. There's a belt in there. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, it's a 4-stroke, isn't it? Not a 2-stroke.
Yep.
No. Yeah, it's a 4-stroke. Yeah,
It's a four-stroke,
it's a
yeah.
250cc scooter.
Yeah.
Not some little.
Yeah, but
When it-
250cc scooters over here are usually 2-stroke.
A 2-stroke 250.
Yeah.
Name one.
Interesting.
In the last 25 years, at that.
I know. I had a two-stroke.
Name one that was made in the last 20 years.
I had a
minimum.
I had a 2-stroke 50, which was made by PGO out of Thailand, but it's actually genuine. And I love that thing. It was great.
Vespa, they were all 250s.
What's
Oh, he might be right.
All 2-stroke.
He might be
that? Oh,
right.
there's two. All right, that's it. He's just throwing shit out there.
You gotta look it up now.
What's the oil fuel
That's fine.
ratio?
Nearly all direct drive as well.
What's the ratio? Oil to fuel.
What, in a 2-stroke?
Yeah, what's the ratio?
One
Yeah.
cap to a gallon.
How many?
One cap full to a gallon.
Cap full.
What's a gallon?
Yeah.
Either 50 to 1, 40 to 1. It depends on what you're running.
Yeah, the cap full. You know,
No,
the cap
well, that's
on
a
the
pretty
bottle.
deep cap because 50 to 1 is like almost 3 ounces. So that's a pretty big fucking cap.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
our gallons are bigger than yours.
Well, that makes the cap even larger, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Go get your gallons. Huh? Go get them. We'll see who's bigger. Huh? Go get your gallons. Yeah.
Stroke.
Gallons bigger, not gallons. Yo, go get your gallons, dog. Yo.
Your gallons 3.9 litres, our gallons 4.5 litres.
Okay.
Whatever, man. Our gallons will fuck your gallons up, yo. What? 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 That's all right, buddy. We talk about our gallons, Lon. Well, that's all right, man. But we talk about my gallons.
I see two-stroke motorcycles, 250 motorcycles. I don't see scooters.
Look up,
okay, but how many schooners to a galleon?
look up Lambretta or Vespa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look up Vespa.
Dawn.
He might be right.
Mm-hmm.
He's making shit up. He doesn't.
Yeah, he might be right.
You got to name something. If you're going to throw that out there, and they're all over the place, and they're all a what?
Vespa. He said a Vespa several times.
Vespa's a two-stroke? Oh, that's news.
He said there was such thing as a Vespa two-stroke 250.
Or
So that's what you need to focus on.
Vespas.
It's possible. Although with Europe's stringent EPA and emissions, I would find it hard to believe. That'd be really surprising. It's going to tell you
yes,
the diesel.
older Vespa models, particularly those produced between the before the late 1990s, were primarily known for their two-stroke engine. So you're talking about 35 years ago.
Nothing recent.
Proper scooters. Yeah.
Well, Vespa still makes scooters.
Yes, they're 4-stroke now. Yeah, and they have been for 35 years, according to this, or longer.
That was the last time Mark was on one. 35 years ago.
Well, ridden his motorbike for 25 years, so yeah.
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 I'll go along with that.
Lloyd, it scared the shit out of the seeing eye dog. Yeah.
But they were
By the way, they weren't 250s. They were 98 cc two-stroke engines. The Vespa. They weren't a 250. No.
They did do 125s as well, and they did do
They do 125s, but they're, according to this, they're 4-stroke. But it could be lying to me, I guess.
Well, they were.
It's possible.
Let me put it that way. Very few bikes or scooters back in the 80s were anything but 2-stroke.
Whoa, okay.
Over here.
I believe you.
And Japanese.
Over here.
Even the Yamaha RD400 was a 2-stroke.
Yeah. The Honda NSR, whatever.
What?
Yeah, NSR 125 is little racing rocket.
Yeah. All the MotoGP lower classes were 2-stroke back in the day. They had the 125 and the 250 class, and they even had a 90 class and a 50 class for kids in MotoGP back in the day.
These are still 2-stroke.
In fact, the big class was 2-stroke up until the 90s. I would imagine. I can't remember, but they used to be 500s.
They were 500s, yeah.
Yep, they used to be 500s. They were 2-stroke.
The old days, yeah.
Yeah.
Before 97.
Yeah. I agree with all that. There was a lot of 2-stroking and a lot of 2-stroking. Womp, womp, womp. In Europe. Yeah.
There's a 2007 Vespa GTS. I'm looking for 250 because they went from 125 to 200, but the more recent ones are 250s. 21 horsepower fuel injected 4-stroke motor. Oh well, and that's only 2 more horsepower than mine. That's what you get, I guess, for fuel injection. I heard somebody come in. Who came in?
Oh, that might be Josh.
Steven.
Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Eddie.
This guy.
Josh, have you and Don? Don, that's Josh. Josh, that's Don.
Hey, Don, Josh. Huh? Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Josh lives
That's what we needed.
Pennsylvania.
Another white guy. I'm just kidding. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
For now, once I get out,
You can't say that. You can't assign him a race like that. He could identify as
my fault.
You know, as a Hindu or a Hindi or an Indian or a.
I was to say Hindi's a religion, just for the record.
Know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I didn't want to say Indian because you don't like that. I don't know if they like that or not. Who gives a shit?
No, Indians like Indian because they're from India. Yeah.
Subcontinental Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Hindustan.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
The Hindustanis.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they went to
So the people
Istanbul.
from there are Hindustanis.
Mm.
The difference between the Pakistans and the Hindustans, because it used to be one country and they split and it became Hindustan and Pakistan.
Yep.
We gave it the name India.
Yep.
I didn't do shit.
What?
Well, the British. The British did.
What?
The British.
That was Mark and them, yo.
Yeah, it was the white folks.
Mark and them. That was Mark.
Once again, the white folks stepped up and did something they shouldn't have.
They pulled
Tell
up
him,
on their,
brother.
they pulled up on their
Wait, tell him, brother.
2-stroke motorcycles and said,
It took
India.
over.
India.
Aha.
What's Quadrophenia?
That's a good movie.
That's the Who.
Bellboy. I've seen that movie probably 10 or 15 times. I've
Yeah.
had it easy at the theaters.
Yeah, if you want to see the scooter culture of the day, Quadrophenia.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Mods versus the Rockas.
That's it.
You know, I haven't seen Quadrophenia.
I
know.
Either.
Say what?
I gotta put that on the list.
Versus
Turn in your card, sir.
motorbike riders.
Turn in your
Put
card.
that on the list of things to do.
Oh my
A lot
God.
of famous
It's
movies I haven't seen.
arguably better than Tommy.
Is it? Because I love Tommy.
It is a better movie.
I don't remember
than
Tommy. I was too stoned.
But I'm not sure that it's more entertaining than Tommy. Tommy's very entertaining.
Right now, I can watch Quadrophenia for free on Tubi.
Oh,
commercials.
Yeah, and Everything Everywhere All at Once is also on Tubi. Just came on Tubi. Great movie.
I've seen it.
More commercials.
The hot dog finger kind of thing, or the cheese finger. What were they? Hot dog fingers?
They were hot dog type fingers.
Yeah, hot dog fingers. Yeah, they're kind of
yummy.
Yeah, it was weird, but
yeah, that part I didn't. It was unnecessary. I thought.
So, Josh, have you seen
I understood
Quadrophenia?
I've not.
Have you seen Quadrophenia?
No.
That was their third rock opera.
Josh, turn off your camera right now. Get off the stream. Go watch it. Come back later.
They'll probably still be here.
Yeah, by the time
Just ignore Dawn.
I'm sure you guys will still be here yet. So
yeah. No.
Plenty of time.
Quadrophenia is a really good movie.
Dawn's not even supposed to be here for another hour and a half.
Yeah, he's early.
and a half.
But that's all right,
All right.
Dawn. We like you anyways. There we go.
There he goes. He had to say
I
something.
hurt his feelings again.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I don't have any feelings. At least any that you could touch.
Oh snap! Oh, I guess he told you.
Yeah, I guess he did. I've been told by Dawn.
You've been told.
Can you feel the love in the room?
Can you feel the love tonight?
Wow.
Hey, Bill.
You
that
picked
was
the worst.
beautiful.
This is probably the nuttiest all of us have been at one time, and you picked the worst night to join us, Josh. Like, we had walked into the nut farm right here.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm only starting to drink. You'll see.
I've been relatively quiet, and I don't even have any alcohol.
Yeah,
I don't
In the
either.
house.
I got a nap.
Not me neither.
I got a nap today. You're in trouble now.
I did too. That's why I was almost late because I set my alarm and then was ignoring it. I couldn't understand what the hell the annoying noise was in my dream, and I realized, oh shit, it's my alarm.
Did you think Art had come over?
God no. I'd have woke up in some night sweats and terrors from that.
Hey, Art, real quick, just so we can have an alarm, if everybody wants to just record this, you just go. All right, that's enough.
That would
Pretty
do
good.
it right there.
All right, I'm going to snip that, and I'm going to set that as my alarm.
Just have him do a little ventriloquism. That'll do it.
No, that's I listen to that when I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, sounds that make you want to hit yourself in the head with a hammer. There it is. Right there.
Sounds to kill yourself by. Never. This album and the history of this album has never been returned.
It reminds me of work. You always get this group, not always, but very often you get a group, and they think it's necessary to scream, "Woo!" every ball that's thrown. Every ball that's thrown that hits something, and screaming, and I'm standing there trying to do my best. Shut the fuck! You're having too much fun. It's very annoying.
How dare you?
Very annoying, yeah.
Have fun in the bowling alley. There's no place for fun. It's a place for alcoholism and
These people that
and
feet away,
lost
and I can hear them
dreams.
through the wall of the office. I mean, that's just unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you have like a loudspeaker system on there that says, shut the hell up?
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I do. It's loud. Too. Next person that screams "woohoo" gets a free pass to the parking lot. Woo. I mean, I'm glad people come in and have a good time, but it's like, well, now you're just showing off. You're just looking
maybe
annoying.
just
that's a big look at me kind of
to
thing.
the dome,
Huh?
behind the pins.
Yeah,
What
put a
about
speaker
behind
behind
the
the pins. Yeah, that'd be an idea.
You know, I've gone behind the pins and like really worked up a huge vape and like blew it through between the pins, and it comes out the front like it's on fire. We've actually had smoke come out of those things from the belts getting hung up and just
Yeah.
And
Now, you could put a speaker down there and put a camera and just basically trash talk people like you see the Renaissance festivals,
that the best
or
you
the
can do?
dunk tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or at the golf course. What do they call that? The golf
Oh
course
yeah,
one. I can't
the
think what they
hole.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The golf course. They just dog people before they tee off. You know, it's fucking-
Hey, nice swing.
yeah.
You swing like a girl.
Yeah.
A nice outfit. The TJ Maxx have a sale. You know, that kind of stuff. Just dog of it. It's
When
hilarious.
they're on their backswing, just yell, "Your fly's open!" That's real loud.
Yeah.
We are an evil bunch tonight. Have you noticed that? We're
Yeah.
just coming up with all sorts of
Yes, this ain't
meanness we
nothing.
can do.
Yeah, Josh.
This ain't nothing.
Lucky I don't know
I'm
anything
just
about
sitting
you.
here.
Otherwise.
I had a joke I was
just
going
wait.
to tell, but I can't tell it tonight.
Why?
Oh,
I can leave.
Because we
If
no,
it'll make you feel more
no, it's
comfortable.
because there's a lady in the
Here you
audience.
go.
You immediately
There you go.
assume
There you go.
old gray white
So
guy.
a black guy and two white guys walking to a bar, you know, or something like that.
No. It's it's inappropriate for mixed company, and we usually don't have.
I am mixed. That's true.
Turn off your speakers.
I am mixed.
No, in our watching audience. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't. I don't want to offend Susan. This is like the second time she's been here, and I don't want to offend you right off the bat.
Aww.
Yeah.
She's
Okay,
taking
Susan's
gentlemen.
a single proud wife,
Oh,
or
there
a
she is.
single proud mother.
Suzanne? No, she comes in a lot, actually.
Lon,
she
you started something. You keep talking about old fat white guys and stuff. Now I'm putting white in everything I say.
I didn't see Suzanne in there. Hello, Susanna. She's been in here many times, actually.
Yeah.
Hi, Susanna.
Well, this joke is probably for later in the evening when the kiddies have all gone to bed.
She's
Okay.
Lloyd, do you want me to
She's
prime
used
it?
to us,
You,
I
you,
think,
you,
by
want me,
now.
you want me to go ahead and set the bar? That way yours
Steve.
seems tame.
No.
He's so funny.
But, hey, I've been 3D printing, and you know I've made that Gandalf staff, and I needed. There's a stone that fits down in there, and I tried something today, and it worked. And it's, of course, I put a light in it, but I 3D printed that using the vase mode,
right.
and
Boss.
it printed straight up. And look at, I mean, it's got.
I pulled off condoms that look like that.
Yeah, well, so it's not.
Were they blue?
Were they blue like that?
Were they
Yeah, were they
glowing like
blue?
that?
Yeah.
Blue and
If they were
glowing?
blue, you have
Okay.
a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, blue and glowing, huh? Okay.
But no, I was amazed at how that's. Actually, it was Mel's idea. He said he tried it, and we both had the same file, and so oh well, what the hell? I'll try it, and sure enough, it printed with no support. And standing up
you
like
guys
that.
are funny.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
a little flexible, but
It is
just-
too
It looks good.
yeah,
Looks
It does.
great.
I was
You're gonna
impressed.
tie a
with it.
string to it just in case you lose the grip on it as you're inserting it.
I don't know.
Well,
Brought back
It's
memories of
got
when I
a
had,
little thing right there to put a string on it. You know,
I had a stone come out of my mask, and I didn't like it very much. My staff.
Lon, you're an asshole.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So be careful. Yeah, I would tie a string to it or something just in case it slips. All that lube and whatnot. You know, whoop.
He left it a little bit squishy.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get it out. You know.
Wow.
I got up from a
I'm so
nap
glad
for
I
this
started this
shit.
stream.
Yeah. What kind of
Now-
vibration motor did you buy for that
Lloyd,
thing?
Lloyd,
Anyway.
hold that up. Hold that back up.
Light on or light off?
Either.
If you're trying
I want to see
Oh.
if I want to see if. So that
Put the
almost
clapper
looks
on
like a counterclockwise insertion.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Not clockwise.
Yeah.
Gotta
Well,
remember the
you
camera's
You gotta put the
reversed.
Flip
clapper
it.
on that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta add some spikes for Don though.
Yeah.
He's been around the block a couple times. You know what I'm
I'll add the spikes for him. Yeah, because otherwise it just fall right out.
Yeah.
He's pretty loose right here.
Oh, a snap. Okay. Okay. Jeez, Don. Don, you want to take that, Don? I love talking to you about that, like that, Don.
Again, I really don't care.
Aw.
Oh, we're done now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're down.
Yeah, we're done.
We're
Go ahead,
done.
Bill.
I think we've killed that.
Talk
joke
about your
enough.
scooter.
Yeah.
Let's get to the important stuff.
Well, it's important to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
let's
your.
hear about it.
Let's get to
Yeah, let's talk about
meat
your
and potatoes.
scooter.
Yeah, let's get to the meat and potatoes.
I got one of the bigger motorcycles around. You know, the Ultra Glide Classic is a very big thing. It's like 900-pound motorcycle, and I like that a lot. And this thing is 350-pound little. You know, it's not little. Actually, it's big.
Wow.
It's actually a maxi scooter, but compared to that thing. You know, it's
yeah.
it's a toy, and they're fun. You know, they zip around with the things. They handle really well, and they're just fun. Sometimes slow. You ride. You take slow vehicles fast, and it becomes fun. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooters are
There
fun,
is
actually.
not-
Mhm.
There is no way that you could have said that a 1960s scooter handled well.
Okay. I would never say that.
That's
Why?
not
I tried to say that
1960
once,
scooter,
but
though.
But I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I could bring a 1960s.
Yeah, just can't
I
say it.
tried to say a 1960s scoot.
Yeah, they went round corners about the same as American muscle cars.
Hey, you keep fucking
Go off
around.
Josh. I guess
Keep,
you nailed now.
what do you mean? What was that about?
Oh, there you are.
It's all right,
Yeah,
man.
he's
It's
back.
all right. It's all right.
Josh, did you hear him making fun of American muscle cars?
I did.
I like them. They
Fuck-
just don't
Fucking
go round-
limeys.
I'm not sure how I actually feel about that, but
Yeah,
Know what you mean.
They're not as fast in the twisties. That's because your whole country is nothing but twisties. You know, I mean, it's not big
They don't
enough.
know how to
it's not
build a
big
damn
enough to have-
road.
It's not
Yeah.
big enough to have straightaways. You know, I understand that.
Yeah. If they learn how to build a road.
Yeah.
He'll have to get a little bit closer to you there.
You haven't built a good road since the Romans were there doing it.
I think
Well, the
that's
Yeah.
Germans built a pretty good one. Both.
I think that's why they invented the drag strip in it, because there were no corners.
Yeah, that was
damn
different. That was a
limeys.
bunch of guys in drag, you know, stripping. You know,
They can't even drive on the right side of the road, much less build a decent road. Fucking limeys and fucking shit. American muscle cars. You
so now
some
that they
bitch.
passed that law,
Lon, as an American, I would like to say that they probably drive on the better side of the road to drive on.
Why?
why?
Because if you're driving on the left side of the road, you're sitting on the right hand side of the car.
Yeah.
So when you're driving, most of us are right-handed, so you can use your flip-off finger a lot better out that window.
That is true. There is that.
true.
Yeah, I'll give
Right.
you
You're
that.
taking your best driving hand off the wheel.
Yep.
Go ahead.
You
Tell
know,
me why
I'm never,
wrong.
I'm
I'd love
never
to hear
really
it.
doing. I don't really do any stunts while flipping people off.
They say stunts, but you're supposed to be driving with that hand.
You know,
No,
that's I
Oh.
don't actually agree with that.
Long
I
haul
drive-
truckers, they use that hand for a lot of other things while they're driving.
Absolutely.
Giggity.
I drive with my left hand, actually.
I do too. I'm only teasing.
Like this.
no, I drive with
on
my
the
right.
top,
I have
but you're not supposed. You're supposed to be 2 and 3, 2 and what is it?
That's
10
good.
and 2.
10 and 2.
10 and 2. That's
Ten
what
and
You've
two,
got
yeah.
left-hand drives, so you can lean your left hand arm out of the window and rest. We do
I
the
do.
same thing on the other side with our right
I've
arm.
got the arm on the
Plus, if you're
arm on the
shifting, you need
wrist.
your right hand open for shifting anyway.
Yeah, I have a
is
stick,
true.
so that's fair.
Yeah, but, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use a suicide knob on my
That's
steering wheel.
wonderful.
So
Oh, you dog.
Oh, sorry.
Suicide knob must be nice.
But there's that.
I'm gonna go out and
There's
fake
the-
MS so I can get a suicide knob. Yeah, there,
I
see,
need
I
my
got
right
MS
hand
too.
to
See,
pick the
Yeah.
YouTube videos while I'm driving.
I'm Michael J. Fox. Give me a suicide knob on my car. Yeah,
You know,
whatever.
car would be going like that if
Yeah.
he was driving. Yeah, you don't want it that way. No.
suicide knobs are great if you want to pretend you're driving a tractor.
Oh, the chores. Anyway,
Now, on a tractor, they
No
are
worries.
very nice to have.
They are. Yeah.
yeah, they are on a high low too. On a high low, they call those lifts in England. There, Mark, lifts. Yeah. Or lorries. No, they call them lorries. No, they call them.
A lorry would be a truck.
You're right. What do they call a high-low in England? You know, a lift truck?
A forklift.
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 Wow, they go all the way, huh?
It has
Yeah.
two.
No,
I was gonna say we call them forklifts here too.
no nicknames.
No,
nothing.
A
Huh?
forklift is a front end loader with a fork on it.
Yeah, well, what's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A high-low.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh.
hi. Well,
Um,
Hi. Low.
yeah, I figured
Low.
I figured they'd at least call them lifties or something.
Yeah, something. Shit.
Yeah.
They call cigarettes fags, for God's sakes. You think they would call high-lows or lift truck something.
Every time when somebody says
LFs.
that word, Dominic's eyes, like,
He goes, woo!
What?
Yeah, it's not a word we use that often here.
Nope.
Why,
They're too busy saying cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that and the fact, I mean, you got one whole state that's called Queensland, so
Yeah.
Queensland.
Where
Hi.
all the planes come from there.
Hello. Welcome to Queensland.
Aw, come on.
Art, did you do the head shake? Oh, that's not annoying at
I
all.
gotta do my Charles Nelson Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was clean. Why do we have to besmirch our brothers and sisters of the LGBTQ plus? They're
Yeah,
using
quit
up
picking
all
on
the letters.
Dominic.
Yeah, they're
They just
using up
keep
all the
adding
letters. It's not right. You got to leave some letters for us.
It's like they get a whole month for a holiday. They get celebrated the whole month. Veterans,
So
you
do
get
African
one day.
Americans. You got a problem with that?
Veterans, you get one day.
Yeah.
And they fought for our country.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend, that's for the people who actually died for the country.
Yeah. Presidents.
Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves, he gets one day and he has to share it with George
watched that
Washington,
video.
the father of the country. But
Yeah.
if they sucked each other's dick, I guarantee you they would have got a whole month too.
Yeah.
You watched the same joke I watched. Who is that guy? I can't remember.
I can't
That was a
remember
pretty good
who told
joke.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a
no
good
group
joke, though.
deserves more than a week. There's too many different groups. You can't fit. That's because you're right when you think about it. You got Christmas. Frickin' Jesus Christ gets one day. You got
Exactly. Yeah.
No, he gets two.
12.
He
He gets
two.
12.
Easter too.
12
Is
days
it,
of Christmas. Don't you know the song?
is it a whole month?
On
No.
the first day of Christmas.
My true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Of course.
Yeah, but celebrating
fuck she get a
Easter for Jesus,
partridge in a
it was kind of a
pear
downer
tree?
for him.
What the hell that guy has to do with Christmas? I don't know.
That's how it used to be celebrated, didn't it, Don? Over
But-
like a 2-week period.
How many Lords of Leaping? What the hell?
Well, actually,
somebody was on acid or something.
11?
11.
10?
The
5
12
gold
days
rings
of
is the one
Christmas.
everyone remembers.
Maids of milking, Lords of Leaping.
Swans of swimming.
4 column birds, 3 French hens,
2 turtle doves.
5 cold rings.
Yeah.
Well,
5 gold
the-
rings.
And that's funny. That is the big chorus in this song, and it's all about gold.
Yeah, baby.
Think about it.
Gold.
It's supposed to be a religious holiday. I don't know.
Gold
I
finger.
get the most
5
excited
gold
about
rings.
Well,
5 gold
the
rings.
story is
Yeah.
that it was actually under Henry VIII or under the British when they under the
He's got
Protestant kings
cord.
of England when they outlawed the priest or outlawed Catholicism.
Yeah.
The 12 days of Christmas was a catechism that the underground Catholics could teach to their kids.
Okay.
Okay.
So they made up a bunch of nonsense and
Partridge
said,
in a pear tree is Jesus.
imagine this
the
is something
Savior.
else. What?
Partridge in a pear tree refers to Jesus as the Savior.
He's in a tree.
Maids of milking.
The 2 turtle doves is the Old Testament and the New Testament. The 3,
You're
whatever
making
they
this-
were, swan swimming,
French
they
hens?
were the Father,
3
the
French
Son, and the
hens.
Holy Spirit. No,
3 French hens.
Oh,
3 French
holy
hens,
crap.
Father, Son.
He's right.
Yeah.
11 Lords of Leaping is the freaking apostles.
Yep.
Yep.
There are 12 apostles.
No,
Okay, then 12, whatever it is.
No, because I don't.
well, there were 11.
I
there
can't
were 12
remember the song.
apostles, but they don't count Judas.
Judas.
because
Matt-
he-
Yeah.
Matthew, Luke, John, George, Ringo.
Bob,
Bob.
Sam.
Yep.
Don't forget Sam.
George.
Don't forget Sam.
Oh, you said George.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harold.
Jason.
but yeah, that's what it was
Horatio.
used for originally.
Josh.
Because like when during the times they had the priest holes in the British castles to hide.
Oh
the
man,
priests.
does that have something to do with the altar boys?
Well, that was a different thing. That was
You can do it.
Yeah.
that was a different priest hole, I think.
Right. It's
Yeah,
interesting, though.
right
You're
next
right,
to
though.
the rectory.
Oh my God, you're
It
right.
makes
The
sense.
partridge in the pear tree is Jesus Christ. I'm actually reading this silliness.
Uh-huh.
The two turtle doves are the Old and the New Testament. The
New
three
Testament. He's right.
French hens are faith, hope, and charity.
Faith, hope, and charity. Okay.
Oh, I want to go through the whole thing. This is
Oh.
very interesting, actually. I think. I don't know. Maybe you don't.
Yeah, it is.
I agree with you.
Okay, here we go.
I like that.
Fourth day, four calling birds. Oh, this isn't where it's explained. I had to go to the actual page here. Four calling birds are the four gospels.
Yep.
And or the four evangelists. Five golden rings are the first 5 books of the Old Testament.
The Pentateuch.
The 6 geese a laying are the 6 days of creation.
Oh.
The 7 swans a swimming are the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the 7 sacraments.
Yep.
The 8 maids a milking are the 8 beatitudes. Not sure what that is. The 9 ladies dance. I've heard of it, but I don't know. The 9 ladies dancing are the 9 fruits of the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 lords a leaping are the 10 commandments.
Gotcha.
The 11 pipers piping, here you go, are the 11 faithful apostles.
Because they didn't count Judas.
Nice. So that's how we.
Faithful
Yeah.
apostles. That's
And then
technically
12.
right. 12 drummers drumming are the 12 points of doctrine in the Apostles' Creed.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
there you have it.
Very good. I knew it. I couldn't remember it all because when I went through adult catechism, we had to learn it, so I couldn't remember it.
What the hell? When did you? What century did you go to catechism? Because I don't remember any of this. I didn't think you were that much older than me.
Moses taught it. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah.
No, Peter actually was his headmaster.
Growing up, I don't think they were still oppressing the Catholics.
Well, it was through RCIA, Rites of Christian Initiation, which is for people who are converting from Protestantism to Catholicism.
Oh.
And it just happened to be that our priest brought that up, and because it may have been. No, it couldn't have been because it's getting close to Christmas.
I suggest you build a wall, keep those guys out.
Yeah.
They're invading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought walls were evil.
I bet you it was harder for a Protestant to become a Catholic than it was for a Mexican to sneak into the United States.
It was.
Yeah. Try becoming a Jew.
Yeah.
If your money ain't right. I'm just kidding. Haha, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
We are not anti-Semitic.
No, when I went through it, we were using the stone tablets.
Okay.
Stone tablets. Wow.
Yeah,
You got the upgrade.
The edges sketched didn't work very
Yeah,
well.
the Apple tablets hadn't come out yet. Yeah.
10 commandments.
Okay.
Getting sacrilegious here.
I think it's I think the explanation of all the gifts being tied to religious things is basically BS that was written centuries after the song was popular.
Centuries after it was popular?
Yeah, because it goes back to
Does
an old memory game where it was a memory and forfeits game where if you had to repeat after a little bit of poetry, and if you did not add on correctly, you had to give a piece of candy or a kiss or something like that.
That song
and the entire thing sounds apocryphal to me. That it happens. It sounds to me like
I just know what the priest told us, but
it sounds to me like it's something that they're like, okay, we have this song. How do we let's tell the story. Let's tell the story
and
to go
they may
along
have,
with it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that
they might have commandeered it.
Yeah, they may have commandeered it, because it was a good way for them to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that before.
About Catholicism in the open under the Protestant kings.
Yeah.
What about the communists? Maybe it's had something to do with the communists too.
You guys are
in communist countries, they weren't allowed to be Christian at all.
These definitions, while interesting, looks like it's a scam. Looks like it's baloney. And he's right. The song is from the 1700s, by the way.
Right.
Myth busted.
originally. Although they think it might even be older than that as a French.
The song is
not
from the
to-
1700s, but the verses that were used was from the time of Henry VIII. And
I apologize, but my bullshit detector made my nose itch, and I had to.
Oh no, that's okay.
I had to call bullshit on you, Lloyd.
We had a good thing
I had to call
going.
bullshit
I'm
on
not saying
Lloyd.
that I
Published in
came up with it.
1780.
Lloyd comes in here and starts spreading his BS. I learned it as a child. Okay, wise old Gandalf.
No, I didn't learn it as a
Leave
child.
Whoopi alone.
I learned it in
Leave Whoopi alone.
1999. That's when I learned it. It wasn't as a child.
Yeah, you weren't even born then, Don.
Don, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lloyd was
we
there.
You don't know.
Okay. Lloyd
we
was
learned it
there.
when we were going through it through conversion. Judy and I were going through conversion.
Exactly.
That's where.
I might age very, very well. You don't know how old I am.
Lloyd was there.
I was there. Yeah.
You had one
He
of
was
those
there,
conversion
buddy.
tables to help your back.
Anyway, that was the first time it was in print, was 1780. That song, although they believe it's French in origin, so it might even be older than that. And it was in
Yeah,
a
who
book
knows?
a children's book called Mirth Without Mischief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mirth Without
And-
Mischief.
Okay.
Which is like
and-
us.
And you guys
I've
can
also
talk
heard
bad
that
about
version,
Judas
yeah.
all you want. You guys can talk bad about Judas all you want, but in
Okay,
Jesus
thank
Christ Superstar, he had the best part in the movie.
Another movie I've never seen.
I haven't either.
Oh, it's great.
Jesus. Have you ever seen
the,
Gone with the Wind?
It's sacrilegious. I didn't want when I was,
Oh my
when I was
God.
young. I
The
thought
guy-
it would be bad. I thought
the
it'd
guy
be
who
bad.
played Judas was just phenomenal.
Yeah. Citizen Kane. Have you seen Citizen Kane? Oh my God. Dr. Zhivago. I mean, oh my God. What's wrong with you people?
Joseph technical or dream. Oh,
I just never
Lawrence
watched
of
it.
Arabia.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Ten
The story of
Commandments.
T.H. Lawrence.
Watch the whole movie to find out he's talking about a toy. Rosebud.
Oh, that's a good. It's a yeah. I don't know if it's a good movie or not. It's
Yeah,
an okay
Actually,
movie.
it's
It is
considered
not-
one of the greatest movies of
Oh,
all time by
It's
some.
a great movie, and it's not about the mystery of Rosebud. That's not what the movie's about. The movie is about the journey of his life.
I know.
That's fair.
I understand, and that was the
Forrest Gump. Have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
yes.
then
Okay.
her.
Gay. It's like
Josh, you never know what
I've
you're
never
going to
seen
run
the
into
movie.
with this crowd.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
box.
very aware of that. Very
Citizen
aware.
Kane, never seen it.
That was a good film.
I just love the
Those
story.
shoes, they look comfortable.
There's a lot
Lawrence
of
of
movies
Arabia.
that I just know the story, but I've never actually watched the movie.
Oh yeah.
Because once I know the story,
What's the point?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
and
whatever.
Especially if the story didn't impress me, I was like, I don't want to watch that.
I tell you what. Take a break from these dumbass Star Trek shows you like to watch, and watch some goddamn movies
I just
that are
started
worthwhile. How
binge-watching-
about that?
I just started
How about that?
re-binge watching
Fucking
Dr. Zhivago was
Enterprise
Ants and
bottom
Mountain.
decks or whatever the fuck.
I watch all kinds of things. Last night I was watching Ghosts.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very funny. I watched Elsbeth.
Mm.
That doesn't sound very science fiction-y, does it?
Ghost, is that the English one where they
It's very
take
left wing too, by the way. But I enjoyed it. I think she's hysterical. What the fuck else?
What about Exodus? Anybody seen Exodus?
Reacher. Watching that series. Tulsa.
Oh, with what's his nuts? Exodus is the guy from Gladiator. What's his stupid name? That's not that one. Okay, never mind.
Moses.
No,
Yeah,
What's
wasn't
nuts? I can't remember anything. I don't know why.
Yeah.
the movie Exodus is about the Exodus is about the Jews moving to Israel and the standoff with the British Army.
Yep. Yep.
Is
They
it
might
good?
say the Jews returning there, by the way.
Yeah, it's the return. It is exactly, yeah.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Because they're not. Most of the Jews that returned to Israel weren't actual Israelis, right?
Well, no.
Well, come on.
They
They're
were
Germans.
They got there.
They're
No,
Germans.
they were
they're
white.
Europeans.
Yeah.
No,
I know
they're
they were
not
Israelites.
Israelis.
You know, I meant the Jews as a people, not that the
No,
guy actually had an
I
apartment
understand.
in
It's a
Israel.
religion. Yeah, I get it.
He's got a little
That's not
flat
his religion
Jerusalem
I
either.
agree
already.
with that. Dave Tulsa King was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa King's very entertaining.
It
He
is.
really is, and he's perfect for that role. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he's doing it. He's killing it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that Reacher one with that big doofus? What's his name? I don't know. I like it.
The reach around?
Yeah.
What?
Reacher.
Oh, Reacher. Oh,
Right.
okay. He's more believable than freaking
Tom
that shrimp,
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, they had to. Yeah,
I can see. What's his name? He's a big guy. He's not as big as they make him out to be in the. He's not as tall. He's big. He's
Yeah.
not as tall as they make him out to be in the show.
right.
I think
Right.
he's like 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
supposed to. The character is supposed to be like 6'7" or something. Some
Really?
ridiculous giant guy. But not that giant guys are ridiculous, by the way. I better watch what I say. Oh, Mark, you
Yeah,
want
watch
to come
it.
back in? There you
Where'd you
are.
go,
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. Cheerio. Oh, pip pip. Hello. Hello, hello.
But he's good in the role though. I like that, and I like the
Good evening to you, Governor.
Have you guys watched it? You guys have watched it, right, Reacher?
I've seen
Yeah.
clips.
started watching it. I just got Paramount Plus back.
My
So
favorite character on the show. I can't even think of her name. It's his buddy. She's the thin, athletic black girl. She's
oh yeah, that would be Niggly.
what is it?
Niggly.
Niggly. Don't say niggly on my
Niggly?
channel.
I
No,
Mr. Man.
it's not niggly.
go.
Can't be. It's not. Watch how you say things, man.
Yeah.
You're so mean. I'm picking on Art.
Reacher.
Racer, you're gonna actually look it up, huh?
Yeah, because it's bothering me because I like the character.
All right.
Nagley.
Yeah, that's what I said, Dingbat.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He
Yeah.
didn't say niggly, he said naggly.
I don't know.
Yep.
She's African American. I'd watch.
So anyway,
Wow, makes you wonder what they were thinking when they wrote that.
nothing. That's her damn name in the book, probably.
I know. That's what I
There
mean.
again.
She probably wasn't black in the book. For one.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
You
care
know?
that I really don't care. That
It's just
she's
a
black.
character.
I think she's awesome. She's funny
Well, good.
and it's a great character. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm just saying, man, there's so many crazy, awesome movies from back in the day, and people have no idea.
Tom Cruise.
Hey, Lawrence of
5'7".
Arabia, freaking Gone with the Wind. There's
Yeah.
a lot of really good movies out there.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Ten Commandments and Ben-Hur and whatever. Some of those movies are
Robe.
It's been so long.
The original Ben-Hur or the new one?
original.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've watched them both. I like the original better. That was back when they made grandiose
Ben-Hur, is
movies,
that a-
you know?
Is Ben-Hur
no.
a movie about transgender person?
Yeah.
No.
No, and him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about the guy who rides around in a pink chariot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben-Hur.
It
With-
throws
with-
Kane to the
Totally
mask.
true.
Well, Lloyd, the way we talk around here, Ben-Hur
You
could have been, I've been her, I've done that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been her.
Don't
Been
forget,
here all the time.
carry on camping.
Mhm.
Oh!
Debbie Does Dallas. That is a classic.
Mhm.
Or Linda Lovelace for president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
classic,
That's,
yeah.
that's a classic too.
They actually
You know
put that
the
down in
Billy
Tucson. They
Jack.
actually put that on a big screen
Mhm.
Billy Jack is awful.
up on the drive-in theater.
Wait.
Yeah, it was.
Billy Jack is awful.
Yes.
Yeah,
The movie Billy Jack, the movie is awful.
I didn't like it.
How
What about
dare
The Born
you.
Losers?
Not familiar.
That was the first
That was
Billy
the
Jack
Billy
movie.
Jack movie. Yeah,
I
Then you
don't
had Billy Jack. Then you had the trial of Billy Jack. You had Billy Jack Goes to Washington, which I will admit was kind of weak sauce. But
You like the Billy Jack movies, clearly. I'm not sure which one I saw.
okay, can you tell me anything that happened in it? Did he
No.
run a kid's Corvette into the lake? That would be Born
No.
Losers. Did he get in a kick fight with a bunch of guys in the town square? Was there an ice cream shop scene where they poured flour all over
I think
a
that's the
little
one.
girl's head? That'd be Billy Jack.
Yeah, that's the one. I didn't remember anything of it except
You had
for
Trial of Billy Jack, where
until you started reminding me of it when you said all that shit. I must have seen it.
Oh my God, Trial of Billy Jack. Yikes.
it wasn't that bad.
Any of them.
It wasn't as good as Billy Jack,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
neither of them I don't think were as good. I don't know. Billy Jack was pretty good, but the Born Losers was.
Walking Tall, the original. That's a good movie.
Yep.
Yep.
For entertainment with Joe Don Baker, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Right?
Yep. Playing Buford Pusser.
Yep.
Buford T. Pusser, wasn't it?
No,
Or am I throwing
No,
an
that,
E
you're
in
thinking
from-
Buford T. Justice.
Yeah,
Buford
Buford
T.
T.
Justice
Justice. You're
off
right. Didn't he have a middle name though, or not? No.
I'm sure he did, but I don't remember it.
I don't. Yeah,
That's
I don't
fair.
remember.
That's
hearing
fair.
As bad as Roscoe P. Coltrane.
But yeah, which
Well, that's a horrible remake.
It. Oh yeah,
Dukes
That
of
was
Hazzard.
terrible.
Oh God, with Johnny Knoxville. The only redeeming factors was the TNA, and it wasn't enough. They needed a lot more TNA, but they're gonna, they're gonna
Jessica
redeem that
Simpson
movie.
was my favorite part of that movie, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a, it was just so bad. They needed way more TNA. They're gonna, redeem
Either
that
that or
movie
Willie
slightly.
needed to be Willie Nelson needed to been handing out a lot more pot to enjoy it. Yeah.
To the audience.
Dude, it was bad. It was just
which
bad.
movie we're talking about?
The amount
The
of
Dukes of
remake
Hazzard, the
of
remake.
Dukes of Hazards,
Oh,
the movie.
Yeah, with Johnny
Yeah.
Knoxville. Oh my God, that
I
was
think
bad.
I think I saw it once.
I saw it once exactly for free. So
Now, if you're talking about Dukes of Hazzard movies, the original movie that Dukes of Hazzard was based off of, called Moonrunners, is pretty
Right.
good. Although
Who was
the General Lee was a pickup truck and Uncle Jesse
I was gonna
died.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Who's
looking for
in
the car. I'm
Moonrunners?
like,
'Cause I know I've seen
Moonrunners.
it.
Moonrunners, they drove a pickup truck, or Uncle Jesse drove a pickup truck that was called the General Lee.
Yeah, Uncle Jesse did drive a white pickup truck.
That's in the TV show, yeah.
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 He was retired by the time we got to the TV show, and he didn't die. In the movie Moonrunners, he was actually running booze, and he was killed. Who
Yeah,
killed
he
him?
had
The
a-
sheriff, the corrupt sheriff.
No,
killed
he had
him,
a
or-
heart attack in the truck. He
Oh,
died.
okay.
He died in the driver's seat, parked outside the house.
Gotcha.
Don watched a lot of movies as a kid. Don went to the drive-in theater a lot.
Well,
Lon was parked in front of the TV as a kid a lot because I had absent parents, so I watched a lot of TV as a kid. That's basically all I did. There was a TV
Right.
show about me. I swear to God, it was on HBO, and there was this guy. He was going through,
Different strokes.
Different
No,
strokes.
dipshit. No, I wasn't adopted by. Anyway,
What
no,
you talking
it
about,
was
Lon?
about this guy.
Yeah.
There's a TV show about a guy that he referenced his life through old TV shows he watched as a kid. It was on HBO. I can't think of the name of it, but that's how he would flash back to old TV shows whenever anything happened in his life. And that was exactly what happened to him. His parents just constantly parked him in front of the TV when he was a kid. It's an HBO show. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was a white guy, dark hair. No, it wasn't like that. It was nothing science fiction about it at all.
Putney?
He was
Whoa.
going through life, huh? He was going through life, and whenever he came across a life problem, he would reference back to a TV show he used to watch as a kid for the answer, because he didn't have very much interaction with his parents, because he worked all the time or whatever. So he was always parked in front of the TV. So his frame of reference for life was television. So he referenced television in all aspects of his life. Any luck?
With what?
I thought Don's looking it up.
Oh no, I'm looking up Putney Swope. I was asked if I'd ever
Oh,
seen
never
it.
mind.
It's like I've never seen it, but it was directed and written by Robert Downey Sr.
Oh, and one of the brothers, I guess they were brothers, in Moonrunner was James Mitchum, Robert Mitchum's oldest son.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Arthur Honeycutt. Oh, he's the guy that play in Scott, where Robert Mitchum, John Wayne, and John Wayne gets shot in the back, and Arthur Honeycutt
the
plays.
shooters?
Huh?
The
No,
shooter?
no. Robert Mitchum wasn't in the shooters. What the hell? You never watched John Wayne movies?
Yeah. Oh, what was that? The one where
Robert Mitchum's the sheriff.
Ah, okay.
El Dorado.
El Dorado.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and Honeycutt was the guy that was the old Indian fighter that played the bugle all the time. And he played Uncle Jesse in Moonrunners.
Yeah. Dream On was the name of the show. Dream On.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dream On.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever watched that.
Yeah, Josh put it up there.
Oh, did he? I'm sorry.
Question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was busy looking it up.
I actually
while you did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that was a star of that was pretty famous, right?
Everybody here was chatting. So.
You guys ever watch movies just because you like the lead character, or the actual actor himself?
Yeah,
I mean?
almost every time.
I like almost any movie that has Christopher Walken in it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I just really like that guy. He cracks me up.
Yeah, I the only one I didn't like him in was The Deer Hunter.
Ooh.
I was not a fan of The Deer Hunter.
Were you not a fan of the movie, or you weren't a fan of him?
No, I wasn't a fan of the movie. It was
it was a tough movie to watch.
Yeah, I had a lot of family that was, went down that road, and it kind of,
I'm like,
hit a little too close to home. Some of it did.
Mm-hmm.
But
get him out! Get him out!
Yeah.
He's good at.
Did you happen to?
I also like
catch him in
all the
Severance
Clint Eastwood movies.
Do what, Josh?
He also played in Severance as well, and played a different part than what he usually does.
Oh, really?
Was absolutely
the TV show Severance? I haven't seen that. That's on Apple, right?
Oh yeah.
It is.
Is it? I'm gonna have to watch it now.
What's it about?
There's just so many different places to subscribe to now that it's like.
I know.
Can we just put movies out in the movie theater again, please?
Oh, I'd have to leave the house.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Spend all this money on my surround sound
with
to go to
human
the
beings.
movies.
I don't like people. I want to
Can I
stay
fly
at
the
home.
drone over to there and watch it from the drone?
I'm going to the movies next Wednesday to see a new kind of wilderness.
Yeah, I've never heard of this, but I don't have Apple TV, so there you go.
I do.
have Apple
I'm going to have to go check
Lon?
it out.
You don't have? Do you have Apple TV, Lon?
Probably.
Really?
You get a bunch of shit free
You
with
do?
Xfinity.
You do have
No,
an
with
Apple
Xfinity, I don't watch it, but I probably do. I get stupid. What's that one with a P? Art was just talking about
Paramount.
Paramount. Yeah, I probably get Paramount.
Paramount Plus.
I get Paramount, and I just happened to trip over it the other day, and I go, "Oh crap, I do have Paramount." I never watch it.
Yeah, Paramount.
I probably
Plus.
should.
If you buy it with the commercials, it's not expensive. It's like $7-8 or $7.
Yeah, it is.
If you buy it on.
That's the only way I see. That's the only way I even see commercials, because I don't watch regular TV at all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't pay for the commercial-free Prime, so I see commercials.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I don't.
And they've hit us with a little more now because they're trying to get you to pay that extra fee. But it's not bad. It's not like regular TV. It's not every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. It's maybe a couple times during a movie, and that's it.
Name the 6 James Bonds. He goes, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, and James Bond.
Well, there was one. There was one time he was Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
As you say, there was one in that Peter Sellers.
That was Casino Royale.
Yeah, David Niven.
The original Casino Royale.
Yeah, that was David Niven in the Peter Sellers.
Yeah, it sucked.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah, George Lazenby didn't last long.
Yeah, that just reminded me. The Pink Panther movies.
Back in
I
the
didn't
song.
think any of the Pink Panther movies were funny, even a little bit.
I love the Pink Panther.
I know people love them. People love it. They're classics. They got a big following. But I watched it. And it just was so. It was
What
like
was the
a 12-year-old wrote the fucking movie.
What was the first one? Something in the park or?
Huh?
Stranger in the
Shot in the
Dark.
dark. Shot in the dark.
Shot in the Dark.
Not
close enough.
memorable enough for me to remember.
Yeah.
It's all slapstick bullshit. It's I don't know. I just don't. I didn't find it funny.
I was never really a Sellers fan, anyways. He was weird.
Clouseau.
Him and Woody Allen
of Dr. Fu Manchu.
Oh,
You know, the exaggerated French accent that wore off after a while, and then
Okay, did you ever watch Being There?
what is it?
Peter Sellers movie.
Yeah.
It's called Being There.
yeah.
Maybe.
No.
Great movie.
That's a really good movie.
Mhm.
It's a guy who's just simple, and he just kind of stupids his way through politics and
like
culture.
You mean like
Mr.
Gump?
Bean?
Kind of like Forrest Gump, but it wasn't like all these real situations. And it's just people would see in him what they wanted to see. And so it's an interesting movie.
Oh, yeah. I think I have seen that one.
It's
Yes.
I'm not saying the guy can't act, but I just the comedy that was written for him in those movies, I didn't like it. I don't know.
Maybe you're not sophisticated enough.
Could be. No,
Did you ever see The Fiendish
They
Plot
are.
of Dr. Fu
and I like
Manchu?
slapstick.
I have
humor.
seen Dr. Fu
I like
Manchu,
Abbott
yeah.
Costello. I like that kind of stuff. You know.
The Peter
But-
Sellers one?
Yes. I
Yes.
did see that one.
Yes, the Peter Sellers, the Fiendish Plot of Dr. Fu Manchu.
The Fiendish Plot of Dr. Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
You gotta remember.
And he played multiple parts in that one.
He did, yeah.
And he was in.
It's a good way to keep the budget down.
Oh God, what's the name of that 60s thriller? Where he played 3 parts in the movie. Oh,
Clue?
Dr. Strangelove.
Oh yeah, Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played 3
Yeah.
characters.
He was he was married to Britt Eklund.
Yes, yes, he was. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I know, right? Britt Eklund, huh?
No, I know Britt Eklund's hot.
Is she?
Oh, yeah.
Britt
Oh,
Eklund?
Seriously hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm off the look.
Yeah.
Britt Eklund.
Art, are you needing to take some of your pills or something? You're kind of up there doing the whole spastic thing going on.
Richard lived
She's Swedish.
underground for 100 years.
You know, Jerry Lewis's later movies, I was kind of like that. I
Did you get a
I
picture
didn't
when
like
she was old?
Yes. Holy crap.
Yeah.
She ain't looking so hot right now, dude. I'm just saying. Whew.
She's still breathing, so what the hell?
Well, she's
Woody
warm,
Allen.
then, I guess.
Woody Allen. I agree with Art. Woody Allen was one of those I
That's
never
not bad for
understood.
82. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you the truth. I see exactly what you're looking at. See, that's 82 years old.
She was the
Who is it?
Saying. I'm thinking hot coming up.
blonde girl
Brett Eklund.
in,
Yeah.
I believe, The Man with the Golden Gun, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe
Yes, I believe so.
Mhm.
Brett Eklund.
Hey, I got some if you want to see them.
Nope.
Yeah, I got some too.
Sure.
Whoa, there she is in a bikini.
Bring it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
she's not doing that great up top though, in my opinion.
Oh, Jesus. Look at
What?
the face.
You're trying to make her into this goddess or whatever. I'm just saying.
You are entitled to your opinion.
I'm
Absolutely.
just saying.
Hey, this is what my Google search came up with. Can you guys see?
Oh
this?
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember her.
Back in the
Look at
day,
this face.
yeah.
She's
Yeah, I do
stunning.
now. Looking at her, I recognize her now too.
This is
Look at that
some-
picture right there. See that video with the hat on? Holy crap!
Oh, that's what you
Well,
say.
yeah.
Look at the mouth.
Yeah, dude, she looks like the
the
Joker. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Why so serious?
I saw this one first, and I'm thinking 82. I'd be happy to be in that kind of condition for 82. But yeah, she's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, she's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the one with her in a bikini, though. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just like, Hey, look at that.
It's a B cup. Not even. Actually, around a B.
If.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an athletic build. I'm looking at her face, man. She's beautiful.
I think she's pretty. Sure. I'm not saying she's not pretty, for God's sake.
Lips. The best lips injections can get you.
There weren't injections back then, I don't think.
They were, and that's why they look at the picture of her now with those lips looking like the Joker. That's what happens when the injections fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah, that's what I clicked on. And I'm like, oh my effing God. Oh yeah, she's hot, all right. I'm like, yikes.
No.
Yeah, it was your young Lon, you know. Some of those old guys, you know, that'd be all right, you know.
No. You couldn't. She couldn't get on me dead.
Right.
I would roll over.
I'd have to take my glasses off, you know, and you know.
I'd be dead.
And leave your pride in a waste can. You know,
I'd be patriotic. I'd use a flag, just throw it over her face.
Ooh,
she's from Sweden. That's
not
so patriotic.
Ja, de beer is meerden. En je weet de boer de meerden.
No, as a young woman, she was hot. I don't need big zongas to recognize hot. I got big zongas. Am I hot?
Nope.
No. No, your wife thinks so, though.
There you
go.
Thinks
so. Yeah.
Plenty of women think I don't care if you think I'm hot.
Yeah, the man with the golden gun, she was pretty. I give you that.
Yeah.
That's why I recognized her. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. James
Anyway, Peter Sellers was married to that woman.
Yep. I know. He's funny. Okay.
Women like a sense of humor.
Funny. That's why he's funny. And he's got a bunch of money. That might have something to do with it too. How did Peter Sellers get her? Well,
he made her laugh.
Funny. He made her laugh all the way to his bank account. Because they probably were married for 5 years. He probably divorced him and took half his shit.
Peter Sellers was a pretty good-looking guy too.
Yeah.
I think you'll find
he's fine. He didn't become an actor by being homely.
Brett Eklund probably had more money than Peter Sellers.
Yeah, look at Robert Mitchum.
Well, he's got a rugged look to him, though. He's got a tough guy look.
Yeah, he does.
That's what he looks like. Is he super handsome? No, he's not ugly.
Oh, what was that movie he was in where he was chasing the two little kids?
But he just looks like a badass, like a hard ass. He just does.
I'm thinking of a different movie. He's not the one where he's got love and hate on his knuckles, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What movie is that? That's a good movie.
He was so scary in that one.
Oh, what movie is that? Some kind of weather description or something. What the hell is the name of that movie?
Someone in the chat tell us what the name of the movie. Robert Mitchum was the bad guy chasing a couple of kids. He had married and killed their mother for the money.
Oh, was that?
Right.
No, that wasn't To Kill a Mockingbird.
Boys Town.
No,
it wasn't
Robert Mitchum. Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter.
I knew it was something about day or night or something.
That was a wonderfully shot movie as well.
Yeah. That's what's great about Citizen Kane, the way it's shot, not necessarily the story. The cinematography is awesome.
Well, and he changed the way cameras could move in movies. That opening
Did he come
shot
up with the slide or the
use of the crane, the opening shot where he comes over the building and down through the window. There's a cut, but he used these swooping movements and actually moved the camera through the space instead of treating it as almost a stage play, which a lot of movies prior to that did.
Right.
Yeah. It's like Hitchcock invented that what do they call it when you zoom out? When you zoom in and back away at the same time.
The dolly zoom,
Dolly zoom. Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think he invented
Fear.
it. He's the one
Cape
that used
Fear.
it.
Cape Fear.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
Fear. He wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, original Cape Fear. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. He played a bad guy reasonably well, I
Mhm.
would say.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Wasn't he in a bunch of cowboy movies where he was the bad guy? Robert
Yeah.
Mitchum? Or not really?
Mitchum was in a lot of cowboy
Yep,
movies,
a
but
lot of it. Yeah.
I remember him from the Night of the Hunter. Him and those kids are hiding in the barn, and here he is riding his horse, silhouetted against the ridge in the background, and singing that song. It's just like, oh, creepy.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I watched it when I was too
think
little.
of Robert Mitchum, I think of World War II movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the longest
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, he was in a ton of those. Actually, I just watched one recently. Actually, when he was captain of a destroyer. And
Oh.
Was he
war
in
battle.
harm's way?
Was that it? We watched it when you were here. Actually,
Yeah. Well,
you started to. You fell asleep in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I fell asleep. Yeah.
Do the same
I was
thing.
going to say a lot of vagina too.
World War II.
Yeah.
That was okay. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
I fell asleep for a while
Yeah.
too. I didn't see them get hit. Oh, we're giving away too much. It was tense. It was
Yeah,
interesting.
spoiler alert, everyone.
Was it-
Spoiler
was it-
alert.
Yeah, from
No,
like
it
an
was,
80-year-old movie. I'm sorry.
Was
What?
it, or was it Enemy Below?
Enemy Below is the one I was thinking of, but then you guys were talking about Destroyer, so I kept my yap shut.
No,
'Cause
he
I
was
was
on a
thinking Enemy
destroyer.
Below too.
He was on a destroyer in this. He was a captain.
Yeah.
of a destroyer.
No, I think it was
They were by
Enemies Below.
themselves. They
And Harm's
weren't
Way
with-
is a bigger one. Yeah. Different.
Yeah, and they ran across an extremely skilled, experienced U-boat.
U-boat. Yeah, that's the Enemy Below.
And the U-boat
Hans
didn't want to
Jorgen.
engage with them. He needed to be somewhere for his last mission. This guy in the U-boat, this captain, and to pick something up or drop something off, and that was it. He was actually after that he was done. So there was nothing stopping him from getting there. And what's above him is of course destroyers, which were basically meant to kill submarines. But anyway, it was pretty.
Yeah, that was a
good.
good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was.
How about the Band of Brothers? That was a good movie.
I started watching. I watched a few episodes. It's not a movie. It's a
I was going to say it was TV
It's a
series.
miniseries,
right?
Yeah.
And I started watching. I liked it.
I have the box set. Yep.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
But if there's good acting and it's World War II, I'm gonna like it.
Yep. Mhm.
That's it. Especially if there's some truth to the story, I like that even better.
Yep.
Because it is a based on, but they get real loose with that definition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about these paratroopers, during World War II.
Strippers.
Well, yes, there was a lot of those, so it's based loosely on a true story, no matter what you say, isn't it?
Mhm. Well, it was a Stephen Ambrose book that was, and Dick Winters was part of the crew. He was giving the information about the battles and the scenes.
Technical advisor.
Yes, that's right. Technical advisor.
Did you like David Schwimmer in that movie? I'll tell you what. There's a skill to being somebody that I know it's just a character he's playing, but I want to kill him in the entire movie.
Or the entire series.
The whole movie, you want to throttle
In the entire series, you hate him.
Yes,
But
Dave.
if you when you hear the interviews of the guys that actually served, they give him credit for making them the company that survived.
Right.
It's a lot of exaggerated stuff. I think it's about a real person.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, their family sued him.
Yes.
They say
Harold
there's a lot of say he wasn't nearly that bad. I don't know how anybody could be. He's almost cartoonish. He's that as the evil sort.
Well, he was bad in some respects, but the reason he was bad is he was trying to make them so they can
the
survive.
real guy was the real guy was the guy, not the guy in the movie or in the series.
Oh,
David
the series.
Schwimmer played a very insecure, paranoid.
Yeah, he played it
bully.
insecure and paranoid. Yes,
and a bully, and a weakling.
well,
And that's not what this other guy was. This other guy actually was meddled up. He was the real guy.
The real guy, he would do the same things that
He was a
showed in the
hard
series,
ass. He made a lot of guys hate
like
him.
he'd right
But-
after they ate, he'd make them run
But
their drills, but he would run right along with them.
right, he run
Right,
with
the real guy.
And no, and when they went over, he wasn't the coward that this guy was in the series.
Right.
Right.
Right. You know, no, he's actually pretty much a war hero, based on what I've read. So, well, hey, anytime you jump out of an airplane and that kind of shit, guys, how many of them died before they hit the ground? I'm talking about Normandy.
Quite a few.
Yeah, I know. I didn't jump off planes in Normandy.
Yeah, no, we were just taking pot shots at like it was like a. Whew, that had to suck.
Yeah.
Jumping into that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I never did a combat jump at all. All the jumps I did were regular training jumps. We never did a combat jump.
Well, at night, getting separated from anybody else, ending up miles from where you were supposed to be, and on the slow descent down. It's target practice. I mean, they did it at night, but they had the spotlights going and the flares going, and they saw them.
What about actually landing on the beaches? They drop.
Oh god.
Those doors open, and you're
depends on the beach.
Shooting gallery.
A couple of beaches went quickly. By the way,
Yes.
We were going to take it one way or the other, but of course the ones we landed on were
it's just open up, and it's just straight into gunfire. They just
and they kept going.
You think about it, that's what they gave us, the Omaha Beach, the deadliest one there was, and the Brits took the other two, just like they do at Gallipoli.
We ran that.
Yeah, the damn Brits.
We ran that. I honestly
We're the
believe
Australians, by
right
the
now.
way.
I honestly believe that they did that because they wanted to show that we were the better soldiers, or some kind of pride thing.
Oh, I could see MacArthur up there, or whoever was in charge, or Patton
Eisenhower.
going. Yeah, we'll take the worst. We'll take the worst beach.
That would be Eisenhower. Yeah.
Eisenhower, I could see it. We'll take the worst beach.
Yeah, MacArthur was South
We got
Pacific.
the best men. And
My
that's our
bad,
best
yeah.
chance. That's our best chance.
I was in the Air Force, and I knew more about, and you were in the Army. And I thought, something wrong with that.
No, I didn't study MacArthur and Patton when I was in the Army. We didn't have a class on it. We had a bunch of classes on jumping out of airplanes and shooting people. We weren't really talking about Patton and Eisenhower. You guys had plenty of time for that horse shit, riding around on a boat or flying in a plane. All you Navy and Air Force guys, you guys have plenty of time. The Marines and Army guys are busy fighting. You guys have plenty of time for cribbage and chit chatting about who's the better general, Eisenhower or MacArthur.
We played a lot of pinochle.
Yeah. Who's the better general, Eisenhower or
whoever? You got to think about it. We loaded the bombs.
Patton might have been the greatest general of World War II, actually.
Who?
Patton. Read up on it.
George C. Scott.
It's amazing what he accomplished and how he was being held back by Montgomery.
Montgomery,
Montgomery's the reason.
Damn Brits again.
They're the reason that the Russians got to Berlin before we did. We were held up by the
because of Montgomery. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn Brits. No offense,
Brits. Yeah, whatever.
Mark just taking it.
Mark's a cool guy.
Not that Montgomery's a great general. Don't get me wrong, but that was that was pride.
Right.
Yep.
So, don't forget
that he was an Eisenhower, by the way, to begin with. So that's a little payback there, because he thought he was the one that should be in charge.
Should be in charge.
Yeah.
And in some ways, rightfully so, because they'd been in the fight a lot longer than we had been.
Right.
Right.
So
and
they were losing,
but they couldn't get it accomplished, so we had to come over again.
They were losing.
So we had to come over again.
Mark, kick his ass, Mark. Don't let him talk about you like that, yo. Yo, man, you talk about my general like that, I'd kick his ass, yo. That's all I'm saying.
I wasn't talking bad smack about Montgomery. He was actually pretty damn good general. But he had his pride, his ego was the size of the island he lived on.
Yeah.
They had a really good saying in the war. When the Germans fired, the British ducked. When the British fired, the Germans ducked. When the Americans fired, everybody ducked.
You want to say something like that about the country that saved your bacon.
Yeah.
Twice.
Two fucking World Wars in a row.
We're the reason you're not speaking German.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't mention the war.
Hey, they're really German anyway. Germany invaded.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about Gallipoli, are we, Dominic?
Yeah.
How you guys, man?
Yeah.
I wonder why Europeans hate us so much. I don't know.
Of tea.
I wonder why Europeans hate us so much.
Because we're
Who knows? It's a mystery.
Because we're world
Right,
we're
right,
World War
everybody-
champions 2 times
I
running.
have to make a public service
Yeah.
announcement for
Okay.
anybody
That's not-
who runs across this stream and is offended by anything we say. We're talking to each other, and we don't mean 98%.
We don't mean-
95% of it.
This is not
for
applicable
fun.
to the audience.
This is tongue in cheek. You know, I should do this little service announcement at the beginning.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're
Disclaimer.
I'm gonna have to tape something. We don't mean anything bad about anybody. We really don't.
Right,
You know,
right.
except maybe Art. And that's it.
That may be art. Art,
Mhm.
yeah.
And Mark, we
deserves
like
it,
to
though.
hammer him because Mark is Mark. Mark is he's a.
You're
Brit.
right,
What the
Warren.
heck? Why shouldn't we?
Hitler
you're outnumbered
declared
there,
war
Haas.
on us. We were just at war with Japan. And then Hitler declared war on the U.S., and that's when we got involved in Europe. And that's
All right,
the other
Josh, I
thing.
would argue Kirk did not complete the Kobayashi Maru. He cheated Kobayashi Maru, so he was he never actually faced the test. They're supposed to test what you're made of when you are facing something that is unwinnable, and he never did that because he's a
No,
coward.
because
he
he finds a
doesn't
way to
believe.
cheat. He'll do it. He'll do that in the real world too. That's how he
Yeah,
lets.
that's right.
He faced it in real life. He faced it in real life.
He doesn't believe in a no-win
He
deal.
didn't,
so,
believe,
yeah.
he didn't believe there was such a thing.
Good point.
You
Yeah.
personally may not survive it, but you may win the battle anyways.
Yeah, you know what? Those two things. I want to know that I won.
Well, I would too. Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather
yeah.
be there for it.
Turning up the last minute. That's a good one.
Hmm?
Oh, no. Mr. Kitty said we turned up at the last minute and claimed a victory. We showed up at the last minute and said, "Ha, we won. Whee!"
Yeah, that's what happened. You're right.
That's what happened. He's right, exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't our Navy. Knocking
Yeah.
out the U-boats. It
Hardly a
wasn't,
fire was shot. Hardly a shot was fired.
it wasn't our Air Force.
up.
The bombing shit out there. We had nothing.
Yeah, the
We
thing
just
about
rolled
what-
up and
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
planted a flag and left. In fact, all the people that were buried were dead already. We just kind of shipped them there. You know,
Oh,
all the people that died in,
Warren.
died in
Warren.
France or whatever.
No, Warren. Han did not shoot first. Han shot only. Greedo never got a shot off. Han was the only one that shot in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, when you say got the shot off first, I think you can kind of reference the idea that the other person didn't have a chance to shoot. I mean, I could see that.
What, Greedo?
They
Saying-
faced each
saying
other off, and I
Han
got my
shot
shot
first.
off. And I got
Shot.
my shot off
Saying
first.
Han shot first implies that there was another shot. There was only one shot.
Kinda, I
Mhm.
guess.
Well, in theory.
But if
If I shoot first, that's gonna be the only shot.
right now. With a pew pew. We got a pew pew pointing at each other. Okay, Art, you ready? Bam. Okay, I got my shot off first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
never
you shot
shot.
first. It's not. Yeah. I don't
Alright,
plan for there to be a
Okay,
second
but
shot when I shoot.
Art was playing when Art did that. He wasn't playing Greedo at that point.
Oh, my
yeah,
bad.
I gotta put my head down.
Yeah, but
I hate to sound like an idiot, but what in the hell are you
When-
guys talking about?
when Art
Nothing
Art,
really.
Art leaned back,
Like,
Art
what the
leaned
hell
back
are
and
you
stuck his
doing?
tongue out like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did a hard job of the hut.
Star Trek stuff, Lloyd.
Star Wars.
Yep, you're
That was
correct.
Star
Mark.
Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars, but I'm trying to think what scene you guys
you
are
don't,
talking
you don't
about.
do that. You don't cross name them.
Oh, the bar scene
The cantina scene, not bars.
Oh,
the
okay,
cantina.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where he had his blaster under the table and he
They'll
Yeah,
take
he
my
shot
channel down. You can't.
He
do
sucker
that.
shot him. He
Yeah,
sucker-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's so awesome. Such a hero.
You're saying Greedo, and I was thinking Guido. And I was gonna say,
You know, Han Solo,
I didn't know
man,
that
he's
Han
not a
Solo
hero.
was in the
Guido
Godfather.
had his gun out on Solo as well. By the way, it's just
Solo was in the wrong in the first place.
for what?
One, he took an illegal mission. Two, he lost all the customers' goods.
Mhm.
Three, he refused to pay the customer back for those goods.
Yeah.
So the customer hired Greedo to seek him out to get his goddamn money that Han
He
owed
took
him.
the money to
And
make
then-
the shipment, and then he
and-
never
Is that
delivered.
when he did the?
and then Han shoots him from under the table.
No, the Kessel Run was at a different time.
No, he was talking about the Kessel Run that he did in 22 parsecs.
No, 12.
Which is not a unit.
Han was wrong in every way.
Which is, well, yeah, because a
Every way.
parsec is not a unit of time, by the way.
No, of course it's not. A parsec is a
unit of
measurement of distance, and it was what they called the maelstrom, which was a bunch of black holes, and to do it in a shortest distance
I got
allowed you to do it fastest.
So
Yeah.
who invented
So
that story to cover that?
That was in
plot
one of the
hole?
expanded universe novels, but I believe they actually put it into the solo movie.
Yeah, and they fixed the plot hole. That's good. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's good.
Good job,
Good
nerd.
Well, sometimes they do stuff like that on purpose. Leave
What
little
was
Easter
that?
eggs, little faux pas, alleged faux pas, and you find out it was something interesting, and it could be used in another movie. You know, or they could make a movie just full of fixing the mistakes they made from the first movie. There might be enough there for a whole 90 minutes. You don't know.
It wasn't in the Zon
Yeah.
novels.
Or
I
actually,
liked all the Star Wars movies, even the shitty ones. I did. I'm more a Star Trek fan, but I enjoyed them. They're all watchable. They're all cinematography. You know, the cinematography is fabulous, and they're just fun, and sometimes funny, and they're okay. I
Yeah,
like all the
but-
Marvel hero movies.
But Jar Jar Binks was like, chalk, fingernails on a chalkboard, though.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks,
If they would have kept the original plan for Jar Jar, it would have been great.
I didn't find him all that. I didn't
Originally, Jar Jar was going to be the Sith Lord, and he was playing all silly and stuff, and he was actually masterminding it all behind the scenes.
See, that would have been a nice.
that would have been a nice
great.
twist.
Yeah, that
The
would've been
Kaiser
good.
Soze, basically. He's the
My
least.
kids
He'd be the
actually got
person you
me an
expected the
animated.
least. Yeah.
My
It would be
kids,
funny too, because I could see the dialogue when they find out who he really is. It's like, how did we actually believe that someone acted like that? Because his silliness is so over the top, with the tongue coming out.
Use your face for it, just like a step into the doo-doo.
Yeah, the poodoo.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
hello, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Yo, Brenda. Yo, Brenda. What? What? Yo, Brenda.
You know, we've had a very small turnout tonight. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of
because I was here early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Could be it.
God.
Yeah.
That or it's me. I'm
No. It's
that's it,
it's
Josh.
it's Dawn.
It's done.
There's
Yeah.
John.
It's Dawn. Yeah.
I
But, oh,
guarantee
man.
you watch your analytics, and they're going to
This
show people
might be-
popping
this
on,
might be
seeing
based
me,
on
and
our show
popping
from
right off.
last-
Yeah.
No, you got to understand. This might be based on what happened last week. See, and
What
it
happened last
affects-
week?
It affects you next year, or I don't know, because we had quite a
Alexis.
few under 28, 29, 30.
Oh.
It was higher than it had been, and then it stayed 20 for like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know
Long.
why. And then this week I think we hit 15 or 16 at the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about
Again, to see if
Alexis? What's going on with her husband?
Not since we saw
No.
her last week.
Well, they moved him. They got him into MD Anderson, and he started. He's improved in some ways, but the prognosis right now isn't really good. What she texted me was that it looks like he's got stage 4 prostate cancer and it's metastasized and gone to his liver, but they won't know. They won't know for sure until they get the biopsies because that was the problem. They couldn't get him. But she said
A
they
biopsy.
did more in 3 days at MD Anderson than they did at 15 days at that other hospital.
Right.
But yeah,
happened with my uncle, and he got that when he was about 80, and he's 95 this year and still going.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, they said they would be if the diagnosis was they're trying to get his strength up so they can do another
Good point, Mark.
one of the camera
Endoscope.
things, endoscope. There's a certain type of endoscope they're trying to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
They got to get his strength up, and if they get if they get his strength up and they can do that, and then they'll have a plan. But yeah, there you
All
go.
right. Let's all right. Prayers to her.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely prayers for her because
Yes.
she's been giving me daily updates. She's been texting
Oh,
me every
Yeah,
day.
you
so
talked to her
I-
for quite a
Nice.
while. You talked to her quite a while after
Oh,
that
yeah.
one episode.
We
didn't
talked
you?
until this went off after Bill left, and then she called me on the phone. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning before we got off the
Wow.
phone.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So
of all of us on the panel, you could probably sympathize or empathize with her.
yeah,
Yeah.
with what she's
The
going
most,
through.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why we talked, because she needed somebody that
Right.
not that anybody is an understanding of it, but somebody who's
She wanted something more than platitudes, or she needed something more
Yeah.
than platitudes.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because until you've been there, dealing with this type of stuff, and
So
but yeah, so she's been giving me
everybody-
daily updates, and
Everybody-
but yeah,
send
Do I?
your thoughts out to Alexis, and then let's get back to
Right.
the poop jokes.
all right, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go back to
Well, speaking of poop jokes, I kind of said this yesterday, but my poop in a box came back that I don't have
right.
colon cancer. They don't
Oh,
think I have colon cancer anyway. But at that point,
Good
but
stuff.
obviously that's going to point towards prostate cancer. They're going to do
I would
whatever they
still.
call it.
I know you're not going to like to hear this, but those things are only like. I mean, it's very good, but they're 90 to 95% or 90% reliable or something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
It's not
Nothing's
100%. The poop in the box
Right.
thing, because they used to do that with me. And
Yeah, they're doing a CT scan. Well, then, do you have colon cancer?
I had a couple nice sized polyps actually.
But you didn't have colon cancer, though,
They
right?
weren't cancerous.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they were.
So they
benign.
can't catch just regular old polyps. They can only catch it if it's cancerous.
Actually, it did.
Which makes sense, I guess.
No, actually,
Well,
it did.
well, then, goddamn it, you're are you against them or for them?
I didn't say I was against them. I said if I were you, because you're my friend, I would like to see you close up that other 5 to 10% by having them go in there and taking a look around. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh no, that you just want me to go in there and get something shoved up my ass.
Yeah, that's
because you don't want to feel lonely. That's what it is.
You
You
might
don't
like-
want to be the only one. That's
All
what
I'm
it
saying
is.
No,
is,
he's not the only.
You're trying to
He's
start
not
a
the only
club.
one. I
Those things
guarantee
were
it.
20 millimeters, both of them, and they didn't grow in 1 year. All right, so the first test didn't detect it. So
And the
I'm
problem
just
is,
saying.
Lon got his results back from pooping in the box, and they said, "Listen, everything looked clear, but next time that you do this, don't send the semen sample as well."
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and look, and use the little container with the spoon for your poop. Don't actually crap in
Well,
the box.
Don's poop tests always have semen in them. I won't tell you why though.
Yeah, Lon.
I won't
Lon-
explain why.
Lon,
I won't explain
man.
why.
Lon, that was my joke, Lon. You're just repackaging my joke, kind of like your shit.
Oh, I thought you thought I gave them a semen sample of my own semen. But no.
Lon did swab his cheek for the 23andMe, and they said only one sample at a time, please.
Very good, Michael.
Yeah, and they said, hey, keep all the saliva out of your poop sample next time. In other words, keep your head out of your ass before the poop test.
Here's my complaint. People with Down syndrome have an extra 23rd, like it's trisomy 23. It's a 23rd chromosome. They have an extra. What?
Y chromosome.
No, it's an extra 23rd chromosome.
Yeah.
Extra pair?
It's just an extra 23rd one.
Yeah.
On the 23rd chromosome. Well, here's my problem: is that when people with Down syndrome send in for 23andMe, do they have to pay more? Or are they getting a little bit of extra for free?
So this concerns you, does it? This keeps you up at night.
So be
24. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that they get.
They haven't earned.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know who you are. Yeah.
Hey, here's something. Why is it that men think more and women talk more?
Yeah, good point.
Where's your evidence that men think more though?
Well, because men have 2 heads and women have 4 lips.
Oh,
is that the joke you're holding
later in the show?
That's the joke. I messed up your joke with logic. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Bill. It's not
trying to
Bill's
mess
fault.
up your joke with logic.
No,
buddy.
it's just.
Is that the joke you've been holding called show, by the way?
Yeah,
Is that
I've
what
been
you've
waiting.
been holding on to all show?
Yeah.
That's when you've been keeping in the quiver, the one you've been holding on to in the holster.
Yeah.
Lloyd's
You're
like,
just
now's my
waiting for that
time. I
moment.
get to say it. I get to
Yeah,
say
you
it.
guys started. You guys went down and said. So, no offense to the ladies in the.
Why do women have happier lives than men?
Because they're
Oh,
not
they have-
married to women.
Because most of them don't have wives.
Don't have wives. Snap.
Okay.
Snap.
All right. That's pretty
That's
good,
a good one.
actually.
Yeah.
Marcus.
That should have
You
probably
kiss
killed
your
off
mammy
the
with
last
that mouth.
10 or 15
his
people that
car
were
was
left
full of
watching us, Bill.
said only most of them.
Yeah, some of them still do, especially in the UK.
Yeah, Steve.
Shortage
left
of
already,
men
so.
there, apparently. I was kidding.
Yeah. And dentists, too. Don't forget lack of dentists, too.
Hey, yeah. Brenda says we know it's
no,
not
they've gotten
true. You're
way
right,
better though. I
Brenda.
have to
Yeah.
give them credit. They're way better now. That joke is almost doesn't hold up anymore hardly.
Yeah, now that everybody's teeth have been replaced, they get they got time to do something.
He's got some snagglepuss
You got a denture company on every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, dental's included in your healthcare, correct, Mark?
Not really.
Stop it.
You get cheaper NHS dental care than private, but it's not free.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was free. Is it free? Dental free in Canada?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Huh. That's interesting. I thought you guys had free dental. You would imagine, because dental problems can be life-threatening. Technically, they can lead to other problems, heart disease, and all kinds of stuff.
They can.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Hopefully next week will be better.
Yeah.
Can attend the teaching hospital.
Hopefully.
Oh. Okay, Mark. Well, what do you know?
But you get free eye care, right?
Why
the hell would you want free eye care?
Yeah.
You can see that everybody's toothless and ugly, and they should provide the dental care too, or not provide the eye care.
As far as opticians go, you have to pay for eye tests unless you're on benefit.
Oh, got you.
Oh,
yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah, nothing is free. That's right. That's right. You tell him, Brenda.
Yeah. Oh no, nothing is free. That's for sure. There's no such thing as a Tonstoffel. Tonstoffel. Anybody read Robin Heinlein? Tonstoffel. Man, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Yep. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
Hospitals, operations, and medication. Actually, no, medication is not free.
None of it's free. It's all paid for, unless you have slaves doing your medical.
Until you get over.
Well, they get Chinese medications. So
yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
But those doctors still get paid.
I hear they got a lot of labs. They come up with a lot of stuff.
Well, it comes out of national insurance payment.
Right. So somebody's paying it. It's not free.
Paying it, yeah.
That also
well, there's such thing as free. Yeah.
How much state pension you get when you
I'll
retire?
be right back. I got to go make me a cup of coffee.
Is that what they call it now? All right. Is that what they call it now?
I always called it making pancakes, but I need to go make some pancakes, but that's all right. You go make coffee.
Yeah, you go make coffee.
Fight me.
Yeah. I got all my teeth. This is for the record.
What a pithy
Never mind then.
They're not just straight, but
See, that might be a good soundbite. Lloyd saying, "Lon, bite me."
there you go.
We should have that.
Oh, save that.
Have that already. Lon, bite me. Lon, bite me. Very pithy.
Pithy and persistent.
No, it's just interesting. I thought they did, to be honest with you. I would have thought that you had dental, because dental's pretty important. You know what I mean? Not to sound, right? But it really is. It can lead to a lot of other health issues. You know what I mean? If you have bad dental problems. Yeah. I bet their teeth aren't as bad as somebody in the Appalachians. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I bet British teeth aren't as bad as Appalachian teeth.
Yeah.
Bill, just kidding.
Well, you can get cheap dental plans for like $35 a month or less if you want, and then they'll at least clean your teeth probably once a year and check it up, and you end up paying allegedly half their inflated bill for whatever fillings you might need or any work you might need. You know, I'd like to go. I'd like to get them. All. Just replace them all with those. What do you call it? Those implants.
Implants.
Just do
but you get big ass white chiclets in your mouth all the way across.
All the time, just like that. When they bury me, I'm a corpse. And they go.
No, but they are getting closer to what they've been promising for a while, using stem cells to regenerate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you grow brand new ones, just like you're a little kid again. Your old ones come out, and your new ones.
That's interesting.
That would be cool. And I don't see why that would be beyond our capability to do that properly. Make sure it roots onto the jawbone.
They're testing it right now, I think, in Japan.
You know, part of the problem is
I'm not sure if it's made it to humans yet.
People's jawbones have recede so much as they get older. I mean, that's periodontist is the reason they're losing their teeth to begin with. So these would have to have some extra long.
I would rather have my eyes back than my teeth back, though.
Yeah.
Laser.
Harvard University been trying to regrow retinas for quite a while now with stem cells.
Right.
People have that.
They are using it to.
My eyes as good as they used to be.
Why did you compare teeth to eyes? Why did you jump to that?
Well, we're talking about.
Are you losing your eyesight?
I want them both.
Compared to when I was a kid, yeah.
Aren't we all?
Oh.
I mean, I can't. I can no longer do this and read a piece of paper this. I have to do this. Or
get some glasses.
Or get these out. And
there you go.
No.
I've got it. I used to be able to do this and read fine print. I had that flexibility in my eyes.
Me too.
Develop cataracts. Do what Lloyd did and ask for the wrong lenses.
But what did that have to do with getting your teeth fixed?
Because we're talking about replacing teeth.
Yeah, but why was it an either or? Can't we do that and get our eyes fixed? I mean,
and get your eyes done too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay,
bright-eyed and bushy.
If you want to go and, that's okay. But
you're an or kind of guy. I understand.
He's an or kind of guy. Yeah.
But it's more interesting to make this or that, not this and that. There's not a game saying, well, actually, there's a game, Would You Rather? And if you just did and, Would You Rather wouldn't even exist.
I'll just take a whole body. You know, if we're going that way.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and retrofit me back to 16 years old or so.
I was
16, 17, maybe 18.
I was thinking liposuction, actually, but
no, I'm a whole new.
You're taking the whole thing away.
No, if we're gonna do it, man, fuck it. Now you're gonna go there, then I want the whole kit. About let's say right after I got out of the army, like the first time I got out of the army, the first time, like at 22, 23,
they're gonna have
I was at peak condition.
Age degeneration through T cell and gene therapy. That'll be a thing someday. We'll be able to make people younger.
Nah,
like the 17 again, where you or whatever that the show is, where he went back, and if you went back and you had all your memories of now and went back to your kid, I think I'd still make the same stupid fucking mistakes.
No, I'd make new mistakes, but regardless,
you'd make them sooner.
I'd make new mistakes. Yeah, I'd make new mistakes. I'd have half the school knocked up because I'd know how to, work the crowd, so to speak. I'd probably have half the women in school knocked up.
Okay, Lon, that is sick, because I said go back with the brain you have now, and you thought about having sex with high school girls. You're sick.
Because I'm 17.
Your brain now wanted to have sex with high school girls.
Boy.
You're sick.
Whatever. I'm 17.
Remember me? I would be like, I'd be 17 and hitting on the older girls, because it'd be like,
these kids.
Yeah, they look. Mom's looking tight. Hey, why not?
Whatever.
As long as I talk myself into getting Bitcoin and don't get rid of it till you're 55 or 60, actually, even better. And I have to meet myself and tell myself, buy as much of that and Microsoft stock as you possibly can. When it's penny stock, grab that shit. Apple if you want, but I only have so much money. Those two are plenty.
No. So now you guys talk about going back in time.
That.
Why not?
No. Anything else is gravy.
Numbers.
Anything else is gravy.
Go, Mark. Go quick.
Why not remember the lottery numbers? It'd be much easier.
Yeah.
What's so hard about buying some Apple stock?
You'll buy the ones.
Really, what is so hard about buying
the next week instead of
I
this
think it'd be easier to remember
back
buying
like
Apple
25
stock
years.
than it would be to remember numbers.
Here's a lottery number. Hold on to this for the next 28 years or whatever. 30 years.
No, you know where you're going back to, right?
And play it on
Mark's
this
got
day.
a point. You know what day you're going back to. You just look up the old lottery numbers for the next 6 months after the day you're going back.
You're changing
history. You'll win the lottery
like that. I don't know. You know what? If I get gains through investment, I didn't take it from somebody else. They just issue more stock when they're selling stock. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of doing that is cool, but you're taking from somebody else who would have won, and it would have changed their life and their family's life. The lottery ticket.
Kelvin timeline.
There's a set number of stock, isn't there?
Buy the fucking stock when it's down in the dollar or whatever it was when they're first coming out. Bill Gates first offering, I don't know what it was, but I know it was fucking cheap. And just buy a couple of $1,000s of it. Right now, that would just that alone would be enough.
All right, no,
at 60 years old,
Coleco. No, okay. For one, going back in time, I wasn't talking about that anyway. I was talking about them cloning me a whole new body and moving my consciousness to the new body.
We moved on to going back to
you going back in time. Anything you do going back in time, no matter what theory you're into, is going to change things.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you buy stock, that means there's only a set number of stock, right, for any given company, no matter what it is.
There's offerings, but there'll be more in the next, in the next cycle.
Well, they'll split the stock and get that. There's still only so many. Am I right? There's only so many stock for any given company. I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, sure.
So if there's 100,000 shares, thank you. That's the word. Thank you. If there's 100,000 shares and I get there first and I buy 10,000 shares of Apple stock before Joe Blow, who was going to buy Apple stock, then he's fucked because in 20 years, in 20 years he would be a millionaire.
They split it and a lot of stock becomes available. All right.
You're not listening.
You
want to go back in time and buy Apple stock when it was $2 a share.
I heard
and
that.
Let's say,
and
that's going to keep Joe Blow from buying it at $2 a share.
I heard that part. I heard it when you said that.
So he's going to get screwed.
Totally heard it.
But no, he's not screwing one person. He's screwing thousands of people because that stock.
Yeah, who knows who all would have bought Apple stock?
And it ripples out. So he's taking a little bit from a lot.
They would split it and issue more stock, and they would just buy it on the next tier. And they would.
You're right, Josh.
It won't be $1 anymore.
Change.
What are you going to buy?
When you split the stock, the individual stocks are split cost wise.
I think we're losing sight of the big picture. Is that at Steve Jobs'
100%.
funeral, how confusing was it when they were presented with a coffin with no handles on it?
You take this year's.
It was just a smooth white coffin with no handles.
I'm sorry.
You take this year's money back with you, and do you think they're going to accept it 50 years ago when it was completely different?
You'd have to take gold with you, which is a loser, by the way. If you pay for gold today, you're going to pay way more.
Why wouldn't you just go back and get a job and invest in a good company? And
that's not a bad idea. But you'd be taking a job from somebody else, by the way, that would have gotten that job and potentially had a family, and his kid might have cured his grandkid might be curing cancer.
It's all part of the chaos theory. Yep.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Josh
no matter what you do going back in time,
no matter how small, is a different timeline.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
you're going to screw
you're not
somebody.
really taking any jobs away from anybody because they never had those jobs
in your timeline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're branching off the timeline, and then there's no consequence in anything you do. Well, great. I'm just like, well, great. You just keep doing it over and over again until you get it exactly right. Like that movie where he keeps screwing up with his girlfriend to keep going back in time and changing shit.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah. He screws up and he keeps going back in time.
Well, they've already
I don't know if
showed
it's Ashton
timeline.
Kutcher.
You know,
Yeah.
they've
Same
got
with
the
sliding
timeline
doors.
authority now that you got to deal with all that shit. You know, they just
Yeah. I guess you're
Okay.
right. And I mean,
Okay. You know what, Lon? You've convinced me. I'm going to take the Bill and Ted's theory
Yeah.
and say the best time is now. The best
Yeah.
place,
whoa,
San
bruh.
Dimas.
Yeah,
Yep.
bruh.
Mhm.
Well, no. And then there's a theory where all the timelines are already been created. You know, that everything that can be created has already been created.
Well,
As
you know, we
far
may
as
have
if you
changed
look
the
at
the
time as a
timeline just by
dimensions
crystal,
talking
and
about it.
well, some people think that time is a crystalline structure and that we experience the movement through it. That's what we experience, but it's not true. That it just, I mean, are we going to go down the determinist path or free will?
Yeah, that's a very long discussion. We could
Yeah.
be here for
right.
hours trying to work that one
That's
out.
getting into deep philosophy. I've got
Well,
my
I
pipe
think
lit.
because
Let's
of
go.
free will, we should just skip that.
I thought that
We
was
should
a good.
choose to skip that whole discussion right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, right, because if each individual in the universe can change the timeline, then that, based on every single little bitty decision they make,
That's right.
could start a new timeline.
No,
Then the
but the
number of
question is,
timelines is ridiculous.
but the
It's
question is,
ridiculous.
are your decisions your
It's
own, or
not
are
something
they
we could actually.
Or
are
are
they a
they
result of
predetermined by somebody else?
Right.
Remember
Or
the
in
something
Big
else?
Bang set particles in motion, set everything in motion. The Big Bang and everything was determined at that point what the universe would evolve and turn into, and
No.
that you are just your every decision you make is a product of
Pre-
chemical
it's
reactions that you have no control over.
Right. No, but I don't think there's redos either. I don't think you can just go back and change it and
Well, no.
cause a
Not
whole
redos,
new
but
reality.
if
Because
you
it'd be a
believe
whole
in,
new reality. You know, if
but
I
if
wear
there's
my white shoes today, I want to wear my black shoes. So I go back in time and change my damn shoes. That creates a whole new timeline. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's not. Well, that's the theory behind it. You know, whatever. It's actually
that
a
is the theory
scientific
behind
thing.
it.
I don't know
I
that
mean,
I believe
yeah.
that shit. But what would be easier for my mind to conceptualize would be the idea that something that occurred that didn't occur before, say there was a disruption in the timeline. I know this is sci-fi bullshit, but say it happens, it would have to be something that would actually relevant to a certain percentage. In other words, not changing the lives of one particular family who spawns out to thousands of other people. That's not timeline shaking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Time Cop.
so something
Time cop.
serious, something serious. You know what I mean? It would be
Yeah.
like there's a few thousand worlds because it had to reach a certain level of importance to the future of the timeline for it to actually branch off into something. But of course, it's not physical like that, so it's all ridiculous. Yeah,
Right.
Well,
but
it's
it would
all
just
ridiculous
be
anyway.
a lot easier to conceptualize at least because every
Right.
emotion, I decide to skip a breath, you know, and that changed the timeline somehow. Yes, it's not something we can conceptualize. The human
I
mind.
just killed an ant, and so that means that eventually there, it's that ant was going to
Not
be
even
part
that.
of
You
it. That
spent 5 minutes without waving your arms in the air when you were talking.
Right.
That would change the world.
that would, yeah, I know.
Well, if you follow it to the conclusion, if I wear my white shoes instead of my black shoes, and somebody happens to stop at Walmart and compliment me on those shoes, and that pause caused them not to get in a car accident on their way home, and then they later have a kid that becomes president of the U.S. that starts a nuclear war, or whatever, you know what I mean? Or their great grandkid becomes some person that cures cancer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they would have been killed in a car accident on their way home, and they would never had the chance to have that child. You know what I'm saying? So there's certainly
no idea
the possibility.
I have no idea why I imagined all you people existing and having this conversation.
Right.
Yeah, I know. You should just go on back to your eternal sleep.
Yeah. So,
Go
how
back
many
to your
people
eternal,
are watching,
oh
Bill?
Lord, oh
Let
God.
me ask
See,
you a
this is what
question
happens
about-
when you come on for the whole show, Don. We
Let me
get
ask you a
into these-
question about great men in history.
You got Don of the Dead.
Great anybody in history. Did they cause the history, or did the times in history cause them? In other words, the conditions in
Like
Germany
Da Vinci, Galileo.
was perfect for a lunatic, and he happened to be the right guy in the right place. But was it him that started the movement, or was the movement already there? And then he took it to his lunatic levels, once he got into power. But you know what I'm saying? Was he a great leader amongst men that he was able to do that with that country, or was it the conditions around him? I think it was more the conditions around him. It could have been anybody.
I think the conditions
I think if it
related
wasn't him, it
to
would have been somebody
the
else.
Versailles Treaty.
Or any of the great leaders from the past
Right.
that you might think of. What made?
So what you're telling me is that Hitler wasn't all that bad. That's weird, Bill. Weird stance.
Yeah,
for you to
Bill. What the
At least
hell?
according to
Oh
them.
no, I just said he was a lunatic. At
He
least
said he
4
was a
or 5
lunatic.
times.
That's a weird
He
place.
just happened to be the lunatic.
Weird
of the
hill to
day.
die on, Bill, to say Hitler's a good guy.
Weird.
No wonder you're losing viewership, Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
No wonder people
Hitler
stop
lover.
tuning in every week. You're like, Hitler was a pretty cool guy, if you ask me. It's like you're going to lose viewership. if you
There
keep
is a
saying that,
sound.
Bill.
Get
Well,
that sound.
he
Somebody
said
grab that
that
sound bite right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Akira
Anyway.
show Warren, he says if the earth exploded right now, what difference would it make in the whole scheme of the universe? In 100,000 years? In 10 billion years? Who knows?
Who knows?
Humanity might rise up and become, spacefaring, Star Trek style, or
Yeah.
maybe even the
Our
day the earth
technology-
stood
our
still.
technology
No, not the day
is-
the earth stood still.
Our technology is exponentially growing. I mean,
Right. There's no
It is.
telling what we might become, is what I'm saying. In the
10 years,
future,
it's gonna be incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
We are.
we might become
are,
gods. Yeah, there's no telling.
We are bacteria, and we. if you looked at
Bacteria
bacterial
can make
growth,
a big difference.
no,
We
if you look
should-
at
we should-
bacterial growth, if they are
It's such a
unopposed,
pride.
they expand quickly, and then it dies off because it basically
Not unless it
destroys.
finds new hosts, Don.
It destroys the conditions which is good for it to grow. And
No,
so
if it find new
But the problem
hosts. Go ahead, Josh.
The problem with bacteria, though, is it doesn't have the urge to create new things like we do. We exist purely to create stuff. Bacteria doesn't do that. I think that's where we have the upper hand on it. We exist totally just to produce stuff and make things like.
well, now you're saying we have free will.
yeah, but bacteria have their place too. I mean, they're
Yeah, but what
They
he's
can
saying
make a
is
big difference.
bacteria is not a creator of anything, an inventor of anything.
Makes blue cheese, doesn't it?
Not all people are
Okay.
either.
Okay, then you can take that with
No
any.
blue cheese.
Okay. Ignore that I said bacteria. Any monoculture.
Like
How
yogurt,
about
for Christ's sake.
let's say any monoculture
Oh,
will expand
monoculture.
until it destroys the in the environment that allowed it to grow in the first place. So we aren't going to expand
But
out
doesn't
and
that
just keep.
Lon
There's
brought
going to
up
be we are going to hit a contraction
bacteria
point.
moves on, or they move on to a new host.
New host.
What? Okay. Where are we moving to?
Well, it all depends on if we manage to survive in this culture
I think we're going to contract.
long
I
enough to be able to spread out.
I think we will contract before we find a new host.
Okay.
Well, Elon
Not if Elon has his way.
yeah. Yeah.
Mars
we'll
isn't
have
going to
to-
cut it, though, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah, I agree with Don there. I don't think that Mars is not going to cut it. Europa
No.
maybe, but even Europa,
Every-
I don't think it's going
every-
to cut it.
Although I will say, I'm for space exploration. Every journey needs that first step.
Mhm.
Yeah, but not to the planets in this solar system.
Nothing in
There's
this.
no,
No.
there's
Well,
no
it's a start.
atmosphere
But we
on
have
Mars.
to start somewhere.
There's no protection on Mars. You may as well stay here and die.
There must be another planet
Yeah,
somewhere.
no, we'd have to leave. We'd have to
Just
leave. We'd have to.
in a
We'd have to
different
find an
solar
M-class planet. As they
Same
say.
as
Well,
us.
And
You
I
know.
think by the time we move on to somewhere else, we will no longer be what we would recognize as human.
That's already happening.
Well, we probably couldn't be.
Yeah.
We'll have to be. We'll
Yeah.
have to be some
Last
kind of
4 years, I
cyborgs
have
or maybe some kind
recognized
of
a lot of
mutants.
humanity.
Mm.
Yeah,
What you eating there, Dominic? Hello,
something
chum.
tubular.
Yeah, is that a hot dog?
Hot
you're
dog.
eating?
It's a hot
Is that
dog
a
bun with
sandwich?
ham on it.
Ooh.
Oh my God! So is it a sandwich or is it a hot dog? Just
gonna-
kidding.
You're gonna open. You're gonna
At
open
a,
a worm. You're gonna open a wormhole to the closest habitable planet.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
That'd be great. And you know what? And Earth, what's left of it would just be farms, and we'll just zip back and forth, and farm it. And it'd be a peaceful, wonderful, lovely life again. See, I got hope
Yeah,
for
it's
the
a-
future.
It's
Hello, Jim Zoning.
L. Ron Hubbard, look out! I'm coming for you.
Hey Jim. Yeah. It's a tough one, you know what I mean? We were talking about time and everything. I listened to, I heard a saying the other day, and I heard it a long time ago when I was in Asia, and I heard it again the other day. You know, the same man.
You got the time for me, soldier
a
boy?
man never. No, a man never steps into the same river twice, because it's never the same river and it's never the same man. You know what I mean? And it's an interesting point of view,
I've heard that
philosophical point of
saying
view.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. I've heard that saying before too.
Yeah, because
I've
you're
heard
never
you
the
say-
same
I've actually heard
person,
Lon-
and it's
Lon
never the
say
same
it.
river.
Blind people.
It was too deep for me then. It's too deep for me now. It is. It sounds quite pithy. It's pithy.
It's pithy. It's pithy.
Yeah.
No, and I think we do change and evolve, and I think there's a possibility that we can do the right thing. I don't think it's impossible that we'll do the right thing.
Hey,
Because
Chris
we can't,
hope.
Chris
that we
hopes
can't
it.
come together.
You have hope. Chris is here.
Yeah,
Hey,
Chris, we got guys
nephew.
like Chris,
Chris.
man. That should give you some hope that we have a
Right.
chance.
Tony.
You know,
And Jim
No, but
Strone.
for real,
I said
though.
hi to Jim.
And we got
Hey, Jim.
FPP fan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, woo. No, it's just a matter of
Wow.
you got to either you're positive or you're negative, and
Oh, hey,
you get to
Sam.
choose. Oh, there's Sam.
Sam.
Sam, I am. Yep.
Why are you so excited to see Sam? What's going on there?
Hey,
Sam!
hey,
What the heck
that guy
was
right
that?
up there, buddy.
What's up, Sam?
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Sam.
You're good.
Everybody doesn't know this, but Sam is actually shorter than Art. That's why he's so excited to see him show up.
Ooh, we're up to 13 now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
somebody else join real quick or drop out.
It's showing 9 on my end here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all this philosophy talk. Everybody got all excited.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah. No, I like philosophy talk because it's interesting. I think that everyone's viewpoint is viable and worth discussing and worth exploring. You know what I mean? I really do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
Sam, they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're leaning into cancer,
Yeah.
but they don't
Yeah.
know yet 100%.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I think on Monday she said that they were, if he was, if his strength was up, that they were going to try and do that scope, and then because the idea is when they do the scope, they can do a biopsy as well,
Right.
and that will give them the information they need. So
Right.
yeah, I'm still a little bit, and I know maybe it came off a little bit crass, but I'm still on camp. Why don't they almost seems to me like they got to go in? You know what I mean? They got to go in. Period. They can keep, scoping and biopsying and sampling and whatnot, but they got to go in. The man can't process food. Something's got to happen.
The problem is the way this tumor has grown. It has surrounded some major blood vessels, and if they remove the tumor just by cutting it out, there's a chance he could bleed out and he'd never make it off the table.
Right.
That's the reason they haven't gone in.
Mhm.
I recognize that, but
they, if it's cancer,
the areas that they want to save that are the most. They can't do anything with anyway.
they can't. Right.
So they're going to try to figure out what they're going to use to kill this tumor. That's
Right,
probably what
and
they're doing.
that's where chemo comes in and radiation. They don't have to. And the other aspect of cutting is you can release the cancer. Can release the cancer to spread even faster by
Right.
cutting. So that's another reason against the surgery.
I understand. Me
Or
and
at
cancer
least-
are like
or at
this.
least having
Oh,
a
I know,
plan.
I know.
At least
Yeah.
having a plan. At least having a
I'm
plan.
just
if they're
saying
gonna do
that
surgery.
because of the circumstances is what I'm saying. Though.
Well, the
because
problem
he
is-
can't process food, so he is going to die.
I think
either
some
way.
of that has gotten better, a little better, because he was moved out of ICU and then was put on a regular floor when he was in Corpus, and then they transported him by ambulance to MD Anderson, and so and then they ran like tests for three days, and they more or less confirmed with him that they're pretty sure he has stage 4.
I'm sure if this thing is benign, whatever the hell it is, but it looks like he might
Yeah.
have cancer in his liver. But if this
Yeah.
giant tumor is benign, then they would feel more comfortable in getting in there and start reducing it and getting
Start
it.
reducing it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
getting
They
it the
go
hell
in
out
there.
of there. Otherwise, you're concerned about spreading even more. But if he's already got, you said stage 4 in his prostate.
Yeah. They
Stage
think
Well,
it's
that's going to have to
they-
go. Obviously,
that's
And-
what they're thinking is, that's what they were leaning towards when they talked to her and Jeff, is that they felt with what they've got is stage 4 pancreatic cancer and it looks like it's metastasized and gone into the liver too.
Oh,
So it's not looking good at all.
You said
But
prostate earlier today, didn't you?
I
Yeah,
meant prostate. I meant pancreas.
Oh,
Pancreas.
okay.
right.
Yeah, pancreas. Yeah.
Well, they
That's
start with
not good
P.
news.
Yeah, they both start with P.
They
so
both start
I-
with P. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's pretty
No,
much a way of saving anybody that's got pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they're kind of preparing them for. Is
You've
that
got
Just because they both
Mums
start with P doesn't
do.
mean anything. Penis and popsicle both start with P, and I wouldn't get those confused.
yeah? Well, I'm old. Okay.
Well,
You
Not
are
usually, anyway.
you might.
Well,
I've heard
and the
that you've
thing
gotten
is-
those two things confused a few
Plus-
times.
I never got
penises
them
and popsicles?
confused. I knew which hand was holding which. Thank you.
Yeah,
sir.
sure you did.
Plus,
Yeah,
we
whatever.
had been talking about prostate cancer earlier, so that's what stuck in my head when I
Right.
said
Were
that.
we?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were or not.
Yeah, because you were talking
Oh, yeah,
about
we
your
were talking about lives.
colon, and then you said they
No,
think now it
colon
might be
cancer.
prostate. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have it.
No,
Oh,
not
they don't-
prostate.
It's not
Pancreas.
prostate. Okay.
They think I got pancreas cancer,
Oh,
pancreatic
pancreas,
cancer
okay.
too, potentially.
Again with the P.
Ah.
See, nobody said prostate. Why you think you're looking at
It
me?
wasn't
You're looking at
Yeah,
me.
Bill. Every time I look
Yeah,
at Bill,
yeah.
I think he's
Right.
gonna be the new
That
spokesman.
might
He's gonna
that
the new
might be
He
what
doesn't
it is.
have
I
a
was thinking.
prostate.
spokesman. He's
Yeah.
a spokesman. No, that's what they're looking at in my
Right.
case because
All
they're
right.
almost hoping it was colon cancer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right,
we'll
right.
see, but yeah,
hope
Sam's
it's
right.
not.
Chemo's the worst, man, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey,
And Mark is
Bill-
right. Although they keep claiming if they catch it fast enough, they can do something about it, pancreatic cancer. But I'm not aware of the treatment for pancreatic cancer unless they can do chemo or radiation to get rid of it. I
No.
guess.
Well, it's one of
That's
the
what they
things
told him. That's what
they
they
take
try.
out because
Do you think they can take it out of a
Well-
pancreatic cancer?
the pancreas creates insulin,
Insulin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
but they can create part of your liver and turn it into like a mini pancreas to produce insulin. So they can actually take your pancreas out and still
Yeah,
work around it.
You'd have a box tied into all.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm
Yeah.
a pump, an insulin pump at that point.
Yeah, ready,
Yeah.
ready
That
to
shit
go.
sounds expensive, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit sounds expensive. Wait a minute, what? They're gonna do what? Man, I'm just thinking, man, new drones for me for a while.
And if you have got pancreatic cancer and they don't do anything, you've got 2 to 3 months at the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know someone that died from it.
I know a couple people
Yeah.
that died from it. They died of a backache and they ignored it, and then he went in and they were dead like 3-4 months later.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and that's what started out. He had a lot of back pain. That's where they got.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
If you had any active cancers in your body, typically it affects your normal everyday check. These people probably couldn't even have been going for regular checkups because they would draw all kinds of blood from me a couple times a year.
Right.
And, and any activity of cancer changes your platelet count, changes a whole
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
it increases your immune system. I mean, you would see it.
Well, and that's
They got little graphs that say within.
that's what they're
Lloyd-
trying to figure out is how it happens so fast.
I mean, something that's metastasized to more than one organ, you would think would show up.
Yeah.
You would think that, but unfortunately, one guy I know that died fought MMA, and they get all kinds of tests. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly testing their blood, constantly testing their urine, constantly testing this, that, and the other.
Yeah, but
And-
for what? Are they testing
and
for
he-
drugs or testing for his health?
Well, that's the problem. If you're getting you're getting blood work done, but they're not necessarily looking for
Cancer.
pancreatic cancer.
That
or
means he's only going to pay for
whatever.
the tests that they care about. They don't care if the guy's
Right,
got
right, yeah.
diabetes.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know, people. There's a lot of people out there that get tested a crap ton, and they still come up with cancer and die unexpectedly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that happens.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is it should show up when it's already kind of bad. You know, in the beginning, when it's still just attacking one individual organ,
Right.
prostate cancer was just inside the prostate, and that was it for the longest time. The only thing, but there is a test. It's a PSA test. You know,
Yeah, for prostate. Yeah.
Well, it's for cancer.
But they don't do it. Unless you have a problem.
If that travels and goes, if any of those cells escape because it poked through in 3 places, if they already say, you know, it's possible that some have escaped, and it could end up in my lymph nodes or whatever, you know.
Yep.
So that's why we're going to continue to take the PSA test, because if the numbers go up above 0.04,
I have a PSA test every time I go in.
Now it's 0.04 because, you know, it's gone. I'm sorry, what?
I have a PSA test every time I go in because, one, my father died from he died from kidney failure, but and it was partly related to prostate cancer. So
that's what happened to my dad.
So I get the PSA test. You know, they know I've got the history, so they do it on me every time I go in.
Yeah, well, I was promised throat cancer, and damn it, I'm gonna be pissed if they come up with some kind of different cancer.
Yeah,
it's like, damn it, I already had it all picked out and everything.
Yeah,
you know, suckers.
Coming here,
how dare you?
Hey, what's up, Lon?
I've already picked out my little. Hey, I'm going. Yeah. Oh, look out! They're coming right for us. Look out, Jimbo.
Okay.
It's coming right
Morning,
for us.
Will Robinson.
Ned, right? That was Ned, I think.
Yeah.
Ned, yeah, I believe it's Ned.
Fuck.
It's
like a bunny rabbit looks up at them.
Here's a bunny. Come right for us. Boom. He blasts it with like a 308 or something. Or like a fucking 12-gauge slug. Blows his whole head off.
They crucified Al Gore on that cartoon too.
Oh my God.
The man
he
bear
deserved
pig.
it though.
The man bear
oh my
pig.
God. Man.
You
know, the world's we're all living in the afterlife, just so you know. Because the world ended like 10 years ago.
Yeah, a couple times actually. Yeah, because he wasn't the only one. You know.
No, he wasn't the only
How
one.
dare you? You know, shit. We had, I think, what was it, 7 years, or that we were going to be?
Yeah, I mean, there was Steve Austin.
Yeah, the
unbarely
Greta
alive.
Thunberg. You know, no,
polar bears. How are they going to eat those penguins?
An inconvenient truth, he wrote. You know, well, it's inconvenient when it's not true, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's so full of crap anyway. Guy owns tobacco plantations. He's got real estate and
Heinz.
He burns more oil than the average.
Is it Hunt or Heinz? Is he married into the Hunt or the Heinz?
No, that's Carrie.
That's Carrie.
That's
Carrie
Carrie.
Is that Carrie? I'm conflating them too. My fault.
That's Heinz.
Yeah.
I had an uncle that worked for them. He was the senior vice president of sales for the Eastern Seaboard.
Oh wow.
Retired to Boca. Yeah, I wish I had
That's
known
kinda
that
cool.
when he was still like in the game. That would have been helpful.
Yeah. There's a really old Heinz plant not too far from here in Holland. It's like 1800, 1900, something like that. I don't want to exaggerate, but it's old as F.
What was the
you know,
Heinz
you go in there.
What was the Heinz that died? He died young. What the fuck was his name? Senator Heinz.
Yeah. His
The
wife.
family
married
story
down
is
there.
that when
and the
he
football stadium.
trained him to enter the business, into the Heinz business, actually,
What a weird first name.
before he went on to become a senator, of course.
What's his first name?
Senator.
Senator John Heinz.
Senator.
Oh,
Yeah, John Hines. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Heinz.
Mark. Every so often, Mark slides in there. I gotta sneaks in there.
I think it's John.
Wow. It's like 1812 again. Mark just slips in there every so often. Whee! Burns down our Capitol and he skates back out again.
Yeah.
He was a Democrat, but he was a moderate. He was all right. You know, didn't deserve to die.
No. Most Democrats in my childhood I appreciated more than most Republicans when I was a kid.
It was mixed.
I'm not gonna lie.
There was a
No, I couldn't. No, they wanted to ban porn. They're going against rap music. They're going against video games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Everything I liked, the Republicans were against.
Yeah, they were a
I'm
bunch
trying to
of
listen to
killjoys back
NWA.
then.
I'm
It's
sorry,
just for both parties.
It was Tipper Gore led the charge against rock music
Yeah.
about
Tipper
explicit
Gore.
lyrics.
Yes, there's
No,
both
rap.
parties.
I said. I didn't say rock for one.
Okay,
I
rap.
said rap.
Okay. Against music, it was Tipper Gore who led that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It was the
it was.
conservatives are deep against rap music.
No, there's
I remember it
sections.
distinctly.
There's puritanical sections of both parties. They're all
yeah.
And
for the
they were
longest
against
time,
sex
the
too.
Southern Democrats were very much like that. Don't even kid yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They tried to
well, the Southern
leverage
Democrats
the
were the
AIDS
Klan.
epidemic to keep people from having sex too. You know, like the average straight person, two straight people having sex was gonna spread AIDS, which is bullshit. And they were trying to keep teenagers from having sex by using AIDS as a scare tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that, Don?
Who was it?
Who was it?
Who was it?
And they tried to keep us from doing drugs too. Was that the damn Republic, the Democrats too, buddy? No.
You're the one telling the story. Who was it? Name a name.
It was the Republicans. Oh, it
Name
was
a name.
What's her stupid name?
Oh,
Not
that guy.
Nancy Reagan. No, not Nancy Reagan.
Nancy Reagan. The Reagans had the.
She was the one about
Just
the
say
drugs.
no.
Just say no.
He was in the
That's it.
drugs. We can't do. We wouldn't. No, they wanted us to do drugs. We couldn't have sex. Can't play video games. Can't listen to rap music. Can't watch porn. Jesus Christ!
I don't know what you're talking about.
All
Yeah,
the
it
fun
might have been
shit.
Jesus Christ. But I don't know
All
who
the
else.
fun shit.
Or it might have been that
All the fun shit.
I
But
have no
What?
idea who you're
Get
talking
married for what, Sam? Yeah, it was during the Reagan administration. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
you have to pardon me. I was young then, so my memory's fuzzy. But it was
Yes.
when I was in high school.
And
like I
it
said.
was Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, who led the charge against explicit lyrics
Yeah.
in
Mm,
the 80s, in
nah.
85.
Yeah, I remember that. I absolutely remember.
Yeah,
that.
that's when D.
I forgot it
Snyder-
until he brought it up, but that's absolutely. You can look. You can Google that. I'm not even going to bother. 'cause
I'm
that's
doing
true.
it right now.
It was
Look up-
her crusade. Yeah,
It was in like 86, something like that.
You know, all the first ladies have a crusade. Nancy Reagan was just say no to drugs.
Tipper
Whatever, they all
Gore
have
wasn't.
one might be teaching.
She was just a senator's wife at the time, but they had
Oh, okay,
Senate
yeah,
hearings.
right.
They had Senate hearings. Dee Snyder spoke to
Yeah.
at Senate hearings
History. Yeah.
famously.
Yep.
Tipper Gore.
We're not going
Well,
to
she was
take
never president.
No,
first
but
lady.
but still,
Almost.
it was still a Democrat-led
Yep.
attack on
Yep.
explicit lyrics and
You learn something
It's
new
the
every
second
day. At this
parental
point.
touting parental values.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure Reagan was all pro rap, right?
I don't know, but you were saying that it was Reagan
I
that
don't,
was
I don't
doing it, but it
recall
wasn't.
you
It was
even
Tipper
brought it
Gore.
up, to be honest with you. Lon.
It was during the Reagan administration. If you want to say Tipper
Oh, yeah.
Gore started it,
It-
I can't
It was
argue that
during,
because
it was
I
during
don't
his
remember.
administration. A lot of people drank water during the Reagan administration too, but he wasn't responsible for them drinking water.
No,
Yeah,
Tipper
you know
Gore
what I
did-
mean.
he started-
Hey.
This was, I think, wasn't this started like right when they were trying to run? She was, it was right about then, wasn't it?
It would have been, yeah, because they were getting ready to.
To lose.
This was in the mid '80s.
Mid 80s.
It was in
and
Reagan's
80s.
second term.
Reagan's second term, and then there was George H.W. Bush,
hmm
and Bill Clinton came in
Right.
92.
Before
Yeah.
he ran against
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah, and I was saying they were leveraging the AIDS deal to try to talk people into stop not having sex and get out of marriage. That sounds like a Christian thing for my
it
money,
does,
but
but-
regardless.
It might.
There are a lot of Christians on
Still-
the Democrat side too.
It's not
No, I
just
recognize that.
Muslims feel
Yeah.
the same way. Most religions, the majority
Most
of
religions are against sex.
No,
outside
that's
of
not my
marriage.
point. My point is the Democrats at one point were all the free speech people and the super duper. You should listen to whatever music you want to, and yada
in-
yada.
So here's the thing. You know, you just
60s
said that
maybe.
it
And then they
was
kind of
just-
flipped.
It's not
Not
just
They
really.
kind of flipped now.
It is a moral
you know?
thing, but that's what's tied into the fact that it is also a safety thing. teenagers, the less teenagers have sex, the less teenage pregnancies there will be, the less teenage
point.
STDs there will be. So it's not just a message, hey, do this because God says so, or some ridiculous thing that they're not going to listen
No.
that they're not going to listen to. It actually makes sense, you know.
Well, yeah, sure, but
And the message a lot
the
of times
two
is
things: the cart and the
have pride
horse
in
here.
yourself.
The
Tipper
cart and the
Gore.
horse here. A lot of these rules come into place because of the bad consequences, and then they attribute them to God. Like, don't fuck your cousin. They make religious rules
Tipper
against
Gore-
having sex with your cousin
Typically, why that's
because of the.
In
Yeah,
1985, Tipper Gore co-founded the Parents Music Resource Center, which advocated for labeling of record covers of releases featuring profane language, especially in the heavy metal, punk, and hip-hop genres of music.
Cool.
Al Gore's wife.
Al Gore.
Awesome sauce.
Who was a Democrat.
I know Al Gore was a Democrat. All right, thanks.
Mhm.
presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I will say
He
that
lost him.
it was a bipartisan
Yes.
thing in Congress.
Well, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
both parties have that. You know, I mean, there's a swap
To attribute one party to it.
puritanical people in both parties. Yeah.
Look
But-
at Jimmy Carter, Democrat, who just passed away. Rest his soul. He was,
Puritanical might be a little
thought-
harsh, but
you know,
what I'm
he
saying.
thought even thinking about having sex outside of marriage was a bad deal. And of course,
Yeah.
he tells it on Big House.
He
or,
said
Playboy.
he said he had cheated in his heart,
Yeah, cheated
and
in
that
his
was
heart.
just as bad.
And he
Yeah.
was a Democrat. He was a leading Democrat.
Mhm.
So can't just blame one party because they both had their very strong.
Who were you just talking about? I'm sorry, I was reading.
So good people on
Jimmy
both sides,
Carter.
you're saying?
Jimmy Carter.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you were
There's
I thought you were talking about Gary Hart.
no Jimmy Carter. Now Gary Hart, that's a whole different story. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's a whole different story.
I
Yeah.
really didn't know who you were talking about, but that's who I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
Regardless.
point is not that one side is better than the other on this issue. My point is that you can't lay the blame at one side or the other on this
No,
issue
right.
as far as
They're
political.
people. They're all
Yeah.
people.
and like you said,
And
you were
and
younger.
if you are, it's because you understand it from a very
Well, I was a kid,
specific point.
so I just
You're a kid,
remember what
So you probably just
I
took,
remember what was happening. Yeah.
right, and
you remember what
have
you
a
were
different
told was
perspective
happening.
on it than what some of us
Mhm.
might have. You know,
So
Mm-mm.
so like just for the thing that I was talking about, you didn't know that it was actually a
well,
leading
hell, Elvis
Democrat
Presley was would they
wife
quit playing-
who had that, who started that, because that was not part of what you were told. Therefore, you didn't know that. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you have a
limited
perspective that was,
information, low
Mhm.
information,
You have a view
non-voter at the time.
yeah,
right, yeah.
you have a view of
It has to do
of,
with your, you know, it has
a
everybody's
young person.
environment, their perspective of life is completely different during different stages of their life. And
Sure.
you know,
Yeah, it's like you grow up poor in the hood and you have a perspective.
exactly.
And certainly
And
your environment will control your perspective. Certainly.
I know
I'm
when I
fully
grew up poor in the
aware of
hood,
that possibility.
when I grew up poor in the hood, I had a certain perspective.
Sure.
I didn't grow up poor in the hood. I was just poor white trash.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, things are because the whole thing you're talking about is the reason why I'm no fan of either party. And why I'm more of a libertarian than a Republican or a Democrat, because I have no place for government in general. I have no love for government in general, regardless of who's running it at that moment.
I
You know
was
what I mean?
born a white cripple kid.
Oh yeah?
I was always this old, so
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I
Well,
look back at
regardless.
pictures and see me with dark hair, and it just kind of freaks me out because I've had gray hair for so damn long. It's like, what the hell? I didn't always have gray hair. I thought I always did. You know?
Yeah. I see pictures of me with hair in general.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I can say I do have, this. I do.
Yeah, you
The
still have
forehead's
hair.
a little
Yeah.
higher than it used to be, but
Yeah.
still.
My forehead goes way back to my back of my neck. So
That's the way my son is. Yeah, my oldest son's like that.
Yeah. So
Which was good for him because they didn't have to shave his head when they were doing the neck surgery and stuff. You know, he didn't have anything to shave off. Yeah.
No.
That's an interesting point, though. Now I'm thinking about it. I can see what you guys are talking about, and I vaguely remember Tipper Gore. I just say that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it
who
was
was
really funny,
on
though.
the sex thing, though? Who was the one behind all the don't have sex? Wasn't that Nancy Reagan? Or was that the
No,
conservatives?
that was
That was drugs. Just say no.
No.
yeah.
During the AIDS epidemic, when it first came out, they
Anita
were
Bryant.
all.
Anita Bryant probably was
Yeah.
the leader of that.
Yeah.
And
I know they were leveraging it and
that was
talking
the
about
Christian.
abstinence
Anita
and
Bryant was a
whatnot.
big spokesperson. She was a big spokesperson for abstaining because of.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question. I wanted to put Sam's comment up, and it never showed up in the chat.
Oh
Where he
yeah.
said, think about the life before internet and 24-hour news channels. Life in your own bubble is good. And I wanted to put it up and then make a little comment on it because
And it didn't show up.
it was because you didn't know what you were missing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You think back on it like, wow, that really, but you know what? If you never had it, you don't miss it. And life was good.
Yeah.
Of course, we were younger, and stronger, and healthier.
We didn't hear about school shootings.
But that didn't show up in the chat.
Yep.
It's weird. His previous comment and his one right
Yeah.
after it. That one just
Do you
disappeared.
have it on all?
Huh?
Yeah.
No,
Do you have it on
the
all
chat- the
comments
chat-
or
No, I see it in the
Yeah.
the YouTube chat. It's not
Is
showing
he
up.
on?
It's not showing up
Is
in
he on
the
Art's channel?
The Restream chat.
Ooh. No, he's
No.
on the
No,
show.
it's showing up on the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
right.
weird. I wonder how it picks that. Huh.
Yeah,
What?
because
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
weird.
there. I wanted to click on it and highlight it, and I was like, what the fuck? And it skipped over to that smiley face thing that he put up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So
I didn't know it had a habit of doing that. It's not good.
Right.
What?
yeah, there it is.
I think he's right in the sense that I've said that many times, and things seem worse. Because when I was a kid, there were drive-by shootings. You know what I mean? But people act like that's new. There were murders every weekend in Chicago when I was a kid. And Detroit.
Here in Muskogee, we had an area that was called New Jack City, and none of the police would go in there and my daughter lived over there, and she'd call us on the phone, and you could hear the gunshots going off. And it was, and what finally broke it was a little girl, a little 2-year-old girl out on her front porch, and she got killed. And it was all the local ministers just said they've had enough. They were tired of burying children. And so they came together, and between them and the police department, they cleaned that part of town up. And that stopped that. And mind you, they weren't the ministers that looked like myself. They were the ones that looked more like you, Lon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
they
like
wore
the
baseball
Bloods in the
caps.
Crips.
No, you were in baseball cap.
They were tall.
They were tall. Yeah, they were tall.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, they belonged to the AME church and stuff, and different groups like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree. Jim, I understand what you're saying because they have access to information like no one's business, but a lot of it's bullshit. So they may be more educated, but also more polluted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Seriously. Anyway.
That's a good point about retention, Josh. I remember when I was a kid, they would come. My parents would come to me and go, "Hey, what's on TV tonight, Lonnie?" And I would go, "Oh, I could rattle off everything was going to be on TV because I would remember it." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it's a matter of, or I could rattle off 50 phone numbers. What's Grandma what's Aunt Susie's phone number? Blah, 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 blah. I could rattle it off. Nowadays,
I still remember my grandmother's phone number, my aunt's phone number from the block. Well, the next block over, whatever. But I from Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, when I was growing up in grade school. Still remember.
Yeah.
If you had to.
I still remember my first phone number, which was
Same here. Yep.
Harrison 98402.
Oh, because you're using letters.
Harrison, oh my God. They're using names. Woo! Did you have to call somebody, the operator first? Number, please.
No.
And then she said, he's a
No,
Harrison 999.
Harrison was the name they used, but it was HA9 8402, which is 429.
It is a 5 number phone numbers back then too.
That's still
Well,
got
H is for what's H?
H is
Sorry.
H is 4 and A is 2.
Yeah,
Got it.
A is 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
H.
And my buddy, his was it was 429-4297. So it's Harrison 9, Harrison 9.
People are
7.
going to be calling these numbers, right? Just to say, hey, you know Lloyd.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to. They'd have to know the
7
area code
owners
too,
later
so.
of the phone number. What the? That'd be funny. Yeah, but anyway, you remember everything. I loved baseball as a kid, and I like to follow my Yankees, and I look forward to the fucking Bergen record, which in Bergen County, New Jersey, like 3 million people in that county. It's right there, right across the river from the city, and kinda. Park Place was, or Powell Park was a little cool. Anyway, long story short, you had to remember everything. I mean, I knew the lineup, I knew their batting averages. I knew this, I knew the stats because I would just burn a hole through the sports page when we got it every day. And then you listen on the radio, and when you do that, it seems like you retain a lot more of what they're talking about because. First of all, they're saying more because they're painting a picture.
You're right, Sam. It is.
They're also filling it up with information to keep you entertained. So you knew more. You knew way more about your sport back when we were kids than people do now because all they just pick it up. How's the Canseco doing? Oh yeah, it's doing good. You know what I mean? You knew how he did last night. Without looking at something.
No,
the actual issue is the fact that you don't have to. Because you can instantly actually look it up. Whereas before, you didn't have that. You had to actually keep that in your head, or the second that you heard it, if you didn't hear it right, that was it. It was gone.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing: it made me enjoy it more.
Yeah,
made me feel more connected to it. It did.
Yep.
That's
why H is 4, Sam. H is 4. I don't know why.
Looked it up.
Why do you think H is 8? I have no idea, but H is 4.
Yeah.
It's 8 on a keyboard, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on a phone, it's a 4.
It's 4. Yeah.
Yeah,
4.
because
I had to look because he had me going there for a minute.
He did me too, and I thought, wait a minute. So I looked. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He had me going for a second there. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because I remember T9 days, baby.
Oh, yeah. H is 8. He's going numerical in the alphabet. H is the 8th letter of the alphabet.
Right. Yeah. No, it was the place. That's why it was 429. It was HA9 or Harrison 9 is 429. They eventually dropped the Harrison, but some of us old timers still used it.
Right.
We used to hear it in the New York area too. I can't think of one now, but
because
Mario 9, it's actually just MUR.
Yes, Art.
The phone keypad, each number had 3 letters.
Yes, we know that.
No, one of them was
except for 9.
It's
just like the numbers Lon held up with his hand just a couple minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
9 has 4 letters. That's why they didn't use that one.
Right.
It has WXYZ.
Yeah. Oh, and then you had the hashtag and the star symbol.
It was the pounds.
Yeah, it was a pound.
And the asterisk.
You didn't hashtag that on a rotary phone.
You what?
Sam's got a thing going with this Gemini chick.
Oh,
yeah.
You didn't get the hashtags and the stars.
How was your day, Mr. Sack?
Real quick. 616-245-5016. That was our phone number when I was 5 years old. Yeah. Soon to be 55 years ago.
My grandmother's phone number was 212-288-1708.
I don't think
and
phone until I was about 10 or 11.
That's from.
And my dad still got the same number.
64-2211 was how you got the local weather and school closings.
And she had a black phone with a rotary dial on it hanging on the wall.
what I had, yeah. Ours was turquoise.
Ours was white.
Ours was that off-white almond color.
They had a desk one upstairs too, but that was also black.
I think ours was green, avocado green. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, if you screwed up a number, You had to
Everybody
start
had that
all
one.
over again.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
there was
God,
a
I hated
time all
that.
phones were black. My
Yeah,
grandfather
yeah.
used to say black as a telephone.
Mhm.
I shouldn't bring that up. Yeah,
Right.
it's a thing.
Oh no, it's
That's the
okay. You
thing.
racist bastard.
I know.
And phone booths.
I'd never heard
Phone
that.
booths?
You never heard black as a telephone?
Mm.
That's
Don,
old.
you-
That's old. That's
That's what they used to say around Bill's neighborhood, apparently.
apparently.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
he's
my
like,
grandfather.
he calls all
My Italian
Muyanis and
grandfather.
Muyanis. Yeah, Mulanis,
Muyan.
whatever. Muyans, yeah. Muyan, that Muyan. Hey, Guido, you see that Muyan? He's black as a telephone, huh? Huh? What you talking about? Forget about it.
I don't know if you combine the two. You know what a Muyan is, right? It's an eggplant.
I think Elmore Leonard says it was the night was darker than
We
a
didn't
car
say
full
that.
of assholes. I think I've heard
I
that.
never heard that growing up, by the way.
That's a good
Come
one.
on, just to be
Yeah.
clear, I didn't know that until
I think that was
told.
Elmore Leonard.
Oh, yeah? The Muyani thing?
My
Muyan?
grandparents never
No.
said that. I would have noticed it. No.
Night being dark and a car full of assholes.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty dark.
Yep. Yep.
I think that was him. Some pulp writer.
Oh. Hey, speaking of popes, did they pick the new pope yet?
Pope writer.
He said,
Yeah.
I thought he said Pope too for a minute, then I realized he said
Yeah, I
Pope.
know.
Pope.
I know he did,
That
but
damn
I'm just
hillbilly
like,
accent of yours there,
segue. You see
Lon.
that segue?
Don.
Yeah.
No,
Did they pick a
haven't
new
picked
pope
him
yet?
They haven't finished
How long
giving
do they
their,
have?
their app, their poptitude.
They have to
test
go
yet, I
9
guess.
days after the funeral before they can even
They
take
need
the
to
vote.
pick it a pope.
Oh.
Yep.
I did not know that.
You gotta have
Or I knew it and forgot it.
9 days of
Or I knew it
mourning.
and forgot it.
To pick it a
What's
pope.
up with these popes, man? They don't seem to last as long as they used to. Is it just me?
Actually,
No,
no,
for real,
actually,
Just
right?
like
What-
everything nowadays, things are made like crap. Your car,
Oh,
Mhm.
actually, they prefer to have an older pope because he won't serve as long. That's their preference.
Right.
They don't like these long-serving popes, especially if they've had like they don't like to have two long-serving popes in a row. So they try to get
Right.
these,
stop it.
What if he's a good
So they
friggin'
pick
pope?
guys
He's
that
doing a
are-
great,
are
a great
sickly?
friggin' job.
Yeah, they'll pick an old fart that
Yep.
might pop off in a few years. Just
Yeah, they're
give
worried that whoever they pick turns out to be a lunatic, and this way they don't have to put up with him as long. Apparently,
right, yeah.
At the risk
Nah.
of dumping the good one.
Well, and-
Whoa. You're saying that's premeditated.
He's only a figurehead anyway. It's all
Well,
baloney.
You're just saying that shit's premeditated. Is that what you're saying?
before
His happenstance is one thing. Go ahead, Art.
The Pope before John Paul II, he only lasted what?
33 days.
33 days. Yeah,
What
33
a
days.
sad
And then
fact.
John Paul II lasted what? 27 years.
27 years.
26 years, I think it was.
And Benedict
What about the
was,
Pope before that
Apparently
Pope?
God was in no rush to see him. Apparently,
Pope Paul was about 20 years. And then they had John Paul the First that only lasted 33 days. Then
Right.
they had John Paul II that was 27 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And Benedict
That's what I'm talking about.
lasted 8 years. I
8
believe.
years. And he didn't die in office. He just
No,
stepped
he
down.
didn't.
out
he
of
did.
curiosity, I looked it up, and over the course of my 64 years, I've had 6 popes. This guy whoever they pick now will be the 7th. So that's
God.
over 64 years.
Yep.
I'm trying to think it'll be the 7th or
Well,
the 8th one for
65. I'm
me.
actually in my 65th
I think
year.
it'll be the 8th one for me.
Yeah, you might be right, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Or it might be the 85th for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I wasn't around when Peter was, so I know it wasn't the first pope. So
Oh, you
No.
weren't around for
Well, if you got
Pius?
2 more than me, then they would have
He was in the Crusades, though.
They would have had the 2 quick ones.
well, it's like
Or at least 1 quick one.
He was a drummer boy.
because
Yeah,
John
one who was there, a quick one, and then the one my first would make
Yeah.
sense. 1 quick one. There would have been a shorty in there somewhere.
You never forget your first Pope.
'Cause you're not that much older.
And
I
it
know
is
John-
usually a quick one.
Woo!
Order now for your Pope on a rope.
Yep.
No.
Hey, they like to fish
Oh,
with
that's a
that.
bad thing to say. I just thought about how the double entendre there. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't say that. I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They love
Are you
their
counting, Lloyd? Where were you
phone.
born? I could look it up.
I was going to look it up.
Try again, Art. Quick, Art, go.
Tell your joke.
Art, are you talking? I'm sorry. I'll shut. Please feel
Go,
free
Art.
to talk. We're listening.
Go.
Yeah,
Talk now, Art. Go.
Yep. Nope.
Bye, Art.
Come on, Art. Tell your joke.
Come on. We want you to do it now.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Dance, monkey, dance.
There's 16 people, by the way, so do it. Oh, he's gone.
No, he turned off his camera. He's still there, lurking.
What are
in
you
the
doing,
shadows.
Art?
Okay, well,
He's doing his
What
Don
is Lloyd
impersonation.
doing? Lloyd, are you trying to creep out everybody in the audience?
What am I doing? I'm not even.
There he is. He's back. All right, everybody. Art's getting ready to tell his joke. Let's have it.
yeah,
They
tell
like
your joke and then I gotta
their
go.
phone.
Huh?
What? You okay?
Yeah, the Pope's like their secular phones.
Oh, secular phone. See?
No, seriously, are you okay?
Who?
Didn't just throw up, did you?
Who?
Art,
Art.
Why?
could you ducked your head to the side like you were throwing up? That's why. Huh?
Maybe I'll use this one instead. Oh, that one doesn't work either.
Okay.
He's playing with his mics.
Okay.
Well, while you do that, I'll gotta head out, chaps.
I guess he's okay.
Oh, where are you going? Got a hot date?
Yeah, I wish. No, I've got something on this afternoon.
That's the one I wanted to use.
Adios, Dominic.
Okay.
See you, Dominic. Thanks for
Enjoy.
Good
your
day, mate.
Great.
We'll see you, buddy.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Pope Pius the 12th. So
Yeah, this is fun, Art. Please continue to do that.
All right.
this will be my eighth pope.
Being on fire.
Yeah, this will be my eighth pope.
Eighth Pope. Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, this will be my
the
seventh.
one. Yeah, the one coming
Right.
up will be my eighth pope because Pius the 12th.
You got one pope on me.
Yeah, I got one pope on you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pius the 12th, who was
One
took
pope
office in 1938.
Oh,
Bragging
wow.
about, I have more Star Wars under my belt.
Yeah, but when did
Yeah.
he die?
Whatever.
Yep.
What?
Very good for you,
We've
Don.
had
I
nine
dated
Star
more Puerto
Wars. You've
Rican
only had-
girls than that.
Yeah.
And
So,
unfortunately,
man.
Pius was the one that collaborated with the Nazis.
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
When did he
Yeah.
So he's
die?
your favorite Pope then?
Huh?
He's your favorite Pope then?
No.
I just peed myself.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Wasn't you? It was Don.
I just peed on you, too.
It was Don. Shit.
I said, when did he die?
Who? Pius?
That was fun.
Yeah.
1958.
How do you know that shit off the top of your head? That's I don't know.
I didn't get him then. It was the year
You
before I
said
was
Pope
born.
Pius. You know what I think? Yeah, he was a pope. I remember that name. That's it.
Yeah, Pius.
Mhm.
Pius the 12th. I think.
Yes.
I was Catholic.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah, Pius the 12th.
I'm like a typical.
That's our
Catholic.
problem, Bill. Because
know.
we were Catholic, we spent our whole time ignoring this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Whatever
mean?
you had to do to
But
get.
he had to
get through the
learn
class.
it. Yeah, he
I
had to learn it.
Yeah,
He
as
had
an
to
adult.
learn it.
Yeah.
I'm
Whatever we had to
busy.
do to get out of the class. That was,
Yeah,
catechism or whatever.
exactly.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and a lot of it was I grew up in a Catholic neighborhood. I didn't realize we were.
So did I.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize I was in one of those type of neighborhoods, but we were
Those
one
type?
or two. You were either a Lutheran or you were a Catholic. So, and the Lutherans' hierarchy or the way their service, they believe in the Trinity, the transmigration,
Transmogrification or
whatever it is. Yeah, I can never remember that damn word.
Translocation.
Yeah,
trans-
that trans something or another, where the body and the blood.
Transmutation, I think is what.
Yeah,
that's-
transmutation. Yeah,
I think so. I think.
Trans-Siberian
And
Express.
the trans fats. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yes,
So
sir.
all
No,
my friends were
we
going
had
to
Catholics,
catechism
we had
class.
Protestants, we had Lutherans. You know, it's New Jersey, we had everybody. But
Right.
it was a lot of Italian and Irish and Italian Catholics.
Catholics. Yeah.
Catholics.
Same difference.
Say
Yeah,
like you're Catholic. We went to Corpus Christi Church,
Mm.
Body of Christ Church. You know, very stereotypical, big. You know, it's nice. That's where I was confirmed.
Oh wow.
Communion, all that. I wasn't baptized there. I was baptized Jersey City, for some reason, I think. I did find all these records. You know, I hate to think what they want for a passport now. I have never owned a passport.
I know. I'm thinking about getting a passport, and I it's like $500 or $600 if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's $200 or $300 actually for a passport.
No, it's about $90.
It's 175, I think, plus
well,
there's
to
a
apply,
fee.
but I mean, when you all is said and done, it's a couple $100 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
What's
Is it?
Yeah, that's all.
I gotta renew mine. Yeah.
Well, if you want a quickie, I think it's like $400 or $500 if you want an express or whatever.
Oh yeah, I think it's like an extra $125 or something like that. I forget, but I know it was a nice chunk. Yeah.
Mark and those guys get theirs for free because in Europe, everybody gets passports. We're all into IDs and everybody gets passports when they're kids, right, Mark?
Our passport costs about £99 for 10 years.
Yeah, they last 10 years. Passports.
There you go.
Here, but
See, that's the thing about the military. You didn't have to necessarily have one.
saying they made it more of a
Yeah,
pain in the
I
ass
know,
just to get a
right?
Go
driver's
all
license.
over the world and didn't have a passport.
Yeah.
Yep.
No shit. That was awesome.
I
missed
know.
that. I missed that big time.
So who's got real ID?
And
I
they
got
do.
enhanced ID.
I don't, but I will have here shortly.
I do. We've had it for years here.
Yeah,
Well, we've
same
been
here.
here for a year, but the deadline now is March 25th or May 25th. I mean,
May 20th.
so in order to
No,
go to
you won't be able to
Colorado, I'm
fly.
gonna-
May 7th.
is it May 7th? Okay.
Yep.
Can't fly without a real ID.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, Wednesday.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
got that little star and the
Wednesday,
But
yeah.
all these states crying and asking for an extension, they knew it was coming for years.
10
And
years, probably.
Other states did it as soon as they announced it, like Florida and New York and a whole shit ton of other states. I mean, and then Michigan took it to the next level.
I know they
No,
started. They started it. I know it was like 10 years ago. I think Oklahoma started it.
I mean, what are they doing? It's crazy.
I think Oklahoma asked for one extension, and it was like a 6-month extension, and then
For what? Real ID?
for real ID. I think they asked for one extension, and it was only like because they were already implementing it, but they didn't have it. They really changed things up because used to you go down to the DMV, they took your picture there, they took your thumbprint there, you signed everything, and then they printed out your ID. Now they mail it to you.
I have
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they give you a temporary driver's license to go with your current driver's license so that you can so if you get pulled over, they'll like, what a crock.
I'm sorry, Don, you're such a bitch.
What?
Nothing. It just and what if that person really liked those, those episodes? Relegated to something of my childhood.
Oh no! After the sequels, it just kind of they broke my heart, and I was like, it's not something that I am actively engaged in anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How'd they break your heart?
They were
Luke
horrible.
drinking the blue milk. The blue milk straight from the teat was one of the scenes that really just.
No, you're messing with me.
No, seriously. What made?
You're
what
asking
made,
me to. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Star Wars fan. I'd like to know.
The Force Awakens. It gives us the promise of what do we want to see? We want to see Han, Luke, and Leia reunited. We don't even get a scene with them together.
Right. A lot of people complained about that. Some people wondered whether they didn't get along. There was no reason not to do it.
The stupid things. Han gets killed, and Leia runs to comfort this girl who knew Han for like a couple weeks and walked right past Chewbacca, one of their oldest family friends, and leaves him to hang. Just like, he'll be okay. It was piss poor writing.
But then again, Chewbacca's or Wookiees, they live to be how old?
Yeah.
They probably he's I think he was over 100 years old. He's probably lost several people that he was very close to.
I'm sure he did.
So in their culture, they're probably kind of used to it.
He probably lost Uncle Itchy a long time ago.
Just
Mm-hmm.
No, but that doesn't mean she should have went to. She was friends with Chewbacca too, though. I'm with Don on that one. She was Chewbacca saved her life. She was her and Chewbacca were tight. She should have went directly to Chewbacca. I am 100% on Team Don on this one.
Okay.
She should have went to Chewbacca. That's insane. She went to some stupid girl.
The entire purpose of the sequels were to tear down the original trilogy. Vader's sacrifice meant nothing. Luke's growth meant nothing. Basically, it was the entire purpose of it was to tear down anything that was a legacy from those original movies that people loved.
It sure seemed that way. It sure seemed that way. I can't argue with that. It was sad to watch it. Quite frankly. The whole mythos was kind of like just kind of rearranged and destroyed, and you're just like,
yes, Peter Mayhew died. Yes,
Peter Mayhew.
Yeah. That dude was a big guy too.
Yep.
That's how he got the role.
Yep.
I got his autograph here somewhere.
I don't disagree with you. I didn't like those movies either, to be honest with you.
Now
I'm not. And by the way, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan anymore.
I didn't mind Rogue One.
The very first Star Wars that came out, 1977, 78. I forget what it was.
Yeah, 78.
It got released.
78?
I was in high school, and we were kind of a bunch of geeky friends of mine and I. Their mother worked for some large movie theater chain, and he had life-size cutouts before the movies came out of Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, and all that shit. It's like, and he was and we were sci-fi kind of nerdy, geeky kind of guys anyway, and we're so super excited, and because of the night that it opened up, we couldn't go the opening night, but we went the very next night after opening night, where it opened in the New York area. Anyway, they gave us the "May the Force be with you." So I was a Trekkie right from the get-go. We got I did get one of the limited edition "May the Force be with you" buttons that they gave out to the movie theater people. Somebody stole.
I never picked one or the other. I was a Trek and Star Wars person.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Me too.
Yeah.
I still think people talk bad about the first Star Trek motion picture.
Nah.
So why it's like, no, it was a beautiful picture. I loved
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. 100%.
A lot of people don't like it.
No, it gets panned because there's not enough action in it for people. They
they call it Star Trek: The Motionless Picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tries to be it tries to be a bit cerebral, and it is, in its way,
But I liked it.
Yeah.
I like them all. Honestly,
I like the way they went into warp.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing ever when I was a kid.
Which was
when they went into the wormhole.
Yeah, they went into warp. When they went into warp, that was sweet.
Well,
that was a great
the motion
visual.
picture, their first time they went into warp, they hit the wormhole.
They hit that. Yeah. They like.
Mm-hmm. And then there was an asteroid in the wormhole that they had to destroy before it fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They fired a laser in the wormhole while they were traveling faster than light.
Torpedo, because the phasers were at that time
They fired them up and it dropped them out of the wormhole. They had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
They were
phasers
trapped in the wormhole.
Speed of light on the wormhole was faster than that.
Yeah, but it's
Right. That's where I'm getting at. How do you
relativity? It'd be the speed of light faster than you're moving through the wormhole because it's originating from you.
what it does is it
None of this
bends
makes sense, by the way.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that's what you're
That's
thinking,
why it's called science
No,
fiction.
I had to wait to see Star Wars for a while, and
didn't their
when we finally
phasers
saw
not
it,
work at that point when
Yeah.
when they left space dock the first?
maybe.
Yeah.
They had to use the torpedoes first of all.
But I saw it as a double feature with Star Wars and the movie Star Crash.
Why
And
would be past my bedtime?
Star Crash was David Hasselhoff's first movie. It was
Oh my
also
God,
known
yes.
as Adventures of Stella Star. It was an Italian release that was basically to capitalize on Star Wars. It was thrown out real fast. It is a wonderfully ridiculous movie.
It is. Yeah.
They fire these torpedoes with soldiers in them that fly in through the windows
What's up, Tony?
of this other ships. They'll land and then soldiers jump out with guns. It is so wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like
Cat's
the last
right.
Starfighter.
Yeah, the last Starfighter wasn't bad. Yeah, because
Starfighter
when
was
you
fine.
because my question, when we talk about the speed of light and you're traveling at the speed of light and you fire a laser, are you saying that the laser goes now twice the speed of light because you're already moving at the speed of light and you fire a laser? How does that work?
That's what happens.
It'd
with
be
a
like
bullet.
if you're
You shoot a
say if
bullet.
you're-
You
no,
shoot
does
a
it?
bullet from a moving car. It's already traveling the speed of the moving car when it leaves your weapon. So from a stationary point, it would actually be 40 miles an hour, whatever, faster.
Faster. Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing is
so
capable
okay.
of
But
going
that,
on the-
but does that work with light with the speed of light inside a wormhole? I have no
Well,
fucking idea.
well,
I
well,
doubt
well,
it does. I doubt it does. I doubt you could
Question,
even
though.
fire a phaser in a wormhole.
Right. Question.
No.
So if I'm
Oh,
traveling,
on
let's
the
say 1,400 feet per second. I'm sorry, Mark, but I want to finish. If I'm traveling 1,400 feet per second and I fire backwards, are you saying the bullet hangs in midair?
Yes. If that's
It
the
might
speed-
for you, but
if
it
that's
might
the
not
breach
for the
speed of your
others.
bullet,
I
then
would argue yes.
the chamber would
Relatively
be
to you,
moving
no.
away from the bullet at the propel speed. I think it
You're,
would.
you're,
I think
you're
it would
describing
drop.
relativity.
Yeah.
Relative to you, the bullet is still it's firing out that fast. Relative to a viewer that is standing on the ground, it is standing still.
As they as
You
if
see what
you're
I'm saying?
standing in a
If I'm
fixed
traveling that
position and
speed,
right, and you're
Yes, you're
traveling that
describing
speed, the bullet-
relativity.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But here's the thing, though: the action react, of your bullet being expelled from your gun is causing that bullet to move at the speed, whatever speed you just made up. Okay, the 12,000, whatever. It's
whatever,
moving,
1,400 feet per second.
but the
Yeah.
gun is moving away at the same speed. The barrel's moving away at the same
I
speed.
know.
More importantly, the barrel and the bullet are both moving backwards at that speed.
Right.
Right,
So they already have that
Yeah.
momentum going.
right.
So in essence, you could shoot yourself.
it would equal out. It would equal out the speed of the bullet
No.
if you're
Hey.
traveling. At
Yeah,
that
yeah.
speed.
If Nolan Ryan was standing in the bed of a pickup truck doing 110 miles per hour and he threw a pitch, would the baseball
It would-
hover in the?
It would go
hover in
faster than
the?
the truck. If he's
No,
staying,
if he throws it backwards. If
Oh,
the
he throws
truck's
it backwards?
traveling north,
Then it's
110
slower.
miles per hour, and he pitched the baseball
Then he would
south,
counteract. Then
would
he
the ball hover in the air?
Yes.
Only if you were standing
would-
on the
it would
side of the road
fall.
watching it.
It wouldn't hover. It would fall.
That would fall. Yeah.
It would just fall straight down. So as it left his fingers, it would fall straight down.
It falls straight to a person standing on the side of the road. Yes, it would.
To a person
fall
standing
straight
on the
down.
side of the road,
Rel-
it'll
relative
Because
to-
drop
all
it.
he-
relative
all
to
he would be
stationary
doing-
point.
All he would be doing is counteracting the
Speed of the
speed of the truck.
Well,
The ball's already moving 110
the
miles
momentum.
per hour
It's,
north.
it's already got the momentum going
Right.
north.
It's
All
already
he'd be
moving,
doing
right.
is counteracting
And
the
he's
momentum.
going against it at the exact same speed. It's only going to drop
It just
straight down.
drop.
2 minutes.
If you have a gun and you're sitting there pointing straight level across the field, and you've got it set up to drop a bullet at the exact same time, and you fire, both bullets hit the ground at the same time.
What if you're inside a train? Like he's using the train. What if you're inside the train, firing the opposite direction that the train is traveling?
Still the same
Then what
thing.
happens?
No,
If the
because
train
he's
is traveling
at
the
the
same
rate of the
speed,
speed of the train.
Then relative to the train, the bullet would have the momentum, and it'd be like firing a bullet. relative to the train, relative
But
to
someone
a viewer
standing outside of the
standing on the
train.
ground.
Right, but once it left the train, it would just, it would just drop straight down.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Thus, it's called the theory of
Because everything in
relativity.
the train is contained within the train. So as it moves, everything in the train is moving at that same
Right.
speed.
Yeah.
So if you would shoot inside there,
Right.
it would still appear as if it actually went. But in actuality, if someone was
Wow.
standing outside, exactly like they said, if they could see it,
Right.
they would
It's
watch
almost
it
it's almost
stay in
like
the
they
same place.
pass through the bullet when you're thinking when you're thinking
Right.
of it.
Right. If we're in a glass train, for example, and me and you are
Right,
playing
yeah,
catch,
yeah,
Josh, we're playing catch when the train's traveling north at 100 miles per hour. When I throw north, it's the speed, the relative observer on the outside of the train. When I throw forwards, I throw 20 miles per hour. Let's say that ball from the relative observer's viewpoint is going 120 miles per hour. When you throw it back to me, then the ball is traveling at whatever
80.
the math is on that 80, I
Yeah.
guess technically, but even that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there you're staying inside the same area though. Like if you would be outside of it, not going
Stationary,
anywhere,
right? Because all
that's
those things are
where-
traveling at that
right.
speed, including the ball that just left your hand. If I was watching a train go by and I saw a dad toss a baseball to his kid and he threw it slower than the train was moving, I would never see it reach that kid.
Because it would already be passed.
Unless you're watching it long enough, or depending on how fast he throws it. But
He'd
yeah,
be from the angle, he'd be long gone. But yeah, because the ball and him are moving in that direction. So
Speaking of throwing balls,
we are too deep.
I gotta take off. I'm starving. So
what's it got to do with throwing balls?
Great to see you.
You're wasting
Have a
away,
great
Art.
weekend. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Art. See you
Art.
Monday.
Good night, Art.
So somebody actually did this using a drone. They actually fired up the drone inside of the back of a
Moving van.
truck,
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah. And they actually drove the van. Well, the drone technically wasn't moving as part of the van. It was independent of it. So the experiment didn't really actually operate in that sense because the van and the drone were not.
Well, because it depends. If the drone was getting a GPS signal, then it'd slam right into the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was just using, it's a landing, sensor.
Bottom sensors that would hover in the van, no matter what the van does.
Hover. Right. But yeah, the second it got any GPS, you'd be screwed.
I think
you'd have to be in the air and land
experiment.
You could do that, once, but if you tried to take off, it would immediately hit
Well,
the
momentum
back.
would cause you a problem too. Sudden stops and sudden starts would be a problem.
Right,
as well.
right.
If you slam on the brakes on this van, the drone is going right to the front and hitting the wall.
And you have to remember fluid dynamics. The air is going to act like a fluid. You slam on the brakes, the air goes to the front of the van and will push things to the back.
Yep.
If they're
the
floating.
momentum anyway. Even if it's hovering in the van, it's still doing 80 miles per hour relative.
Well, the air pressure,
world.
the air would go forwards in the cabin. The pressure would increase on the front. If you hit like the brakes, the air pressure increases on the front of the cabin and decreases on the back side of the cabin, and it'll pull. So that's why if you have helium balloons in your car and you hit the brakes, they fly to the front of the car, or they fly to the back of the car. If you hit the gas, they go to the front of the car.
But
I think even in a vacuum, though, you have the same problem, in my opinion.
I think a DJI drone, as long as it wasn't, I think it could handle that part of it. Like you'd be able to hover instead of moving. But he wasn't able to do it, or was he able to do it?
I think Ken Heron did it.
Ken Heron did it. I
think a DJI drone can handle it. Keep it relatively
I think Ken
safe.
Heron did
You
it.
might
He
have
did
to
it
give
years
a couple
ago,
little
and we
nudges here and
didn't have quite as good of visual sensors at the time.
Right. He did it with a
Right.
he did
Just
it with a
don't
Phantom
want
4,
Phantom.
I think.
It wasn't a Phantom 4. Was it a Phantom 4?
Yeah, it was.
I think it's a Phantom 4, yeah.
Maybe.
Might have been a Phantom
I
3.
believe it was.
I was thinking it was like a Phantom 3. I thought it was a generation back, but from what
It's probably up there if somebody wanted to go
But it
look
might have been a
for it.
Phantom 4. It might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
It's
my
been a
search
while,
history
regardless.
showing me looking at Ken Aaron's channel just in case.
What?
It might be an investigation. You know, I don't want to be linked.
Well, anyway, guys, it has been over 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yep, I gotta go close the lodge.
Oh, close
Oh,
that
do you?
lodge.
Holy crap.
Clean up
Yeah.
their messes, Don. Get to it.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock.
Snap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do I do? I hit
Do we
this.
wave? Is
Yeah.
now the
Yeah.
time when we wave?
Now it's time to say goodbye to Bill and all this motherfuckers.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Bill and all the tribe. Thank you all for coming, and we hope you will subscribe. You're all invited back next week to watch another show. We're all too drunk and tired, so we're gonna have to
Gotta fuck some
Yes,
hoes.
baby.
Oh.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
This has been a Bill Way